Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Philadelphia fans, we're cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Everybody, happy Friday, one and all. Our sports take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Hope everybody's doing well out there. What's up, Gunner? What's up, B. Brooks? How we doing, guys?
Yo, it is Friday.
It's Friday, baby. Woo!
I mean, this is joyous occasion. It's been a long week, very long week.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I thought it went by quick.
No, it's been a long week, bro. Them Sunday night games take it out of me, bro.
That's a good point. Yeah,
Them
you're
Sunday
right.
night
We got a
games
1
take
o'clock,
it out.
man. We got a 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, yes, absolutely. I need that 1 o'clock too.
Good.
See, you always got me is that, when we would tell people on the outside looking in, oh man, these night games are draining, man. And the common comeback line is, you cover sports for a living, quit complaining. People don't understand. It's not just watching a game and talking about a game, man. It's the process before and after the game. 2 hours after, 3 hours after the game, everybody's home. You're still inside of the bowl of a stadium. You're still on the set. It's not just the game. We love the games. Don't get us wrong. But there's a process involved that just kind of sucks some of that energy out of you. You know what I mean?
You want to give a great product. You want.
Yes.
I mean, you're looking at it. It's more mental than physical. I mean, you can stay up all night. That's nothing, man. But you got to stay on your A game. You mess up or you say something,
man.
And people hold you to it. That's one thing that they hold you to it. So, when you say something, it's got to make sense, number one. And it's got to be the truth, number two. Like when I say something, when I said it at that time, it was the truth when I said it. It may not come out to be the truth later on, but when I said it in my mind, it was the truth. So,
I hear you.
Hey, Kevin Savar, don't be trying to get me in trouble, man. Don't he's D-gun styling without his wife. Hey, look, man. She may be out of town, bro, but she's watching. She may not watch live, but she watches eventually, man. Because you know how I know? Because I get critiques on segments. So she might be 3,000 miles from me right now. Hey, man, you're not gonna get me in trouble, bro. It's holiday season, man. I'm not even gonna let Barrett and Rob irk me during this holiday season.
You have to be on good behavior or you're going to get coal for Christmas. So we know that. And what's up, everybody in the chat section? See you guys, everybody streaming, everybody hanging out with us, everybody listening. We appreciate it. Tell friends. Let's hit the like. Let's go on a like button tear today. All right. I'm calling all chat section, all of our friends there hanging out. Let's see if we can get a big number up today. We haven't put up a big number in a long time. Let's see if we can do it. All right. How's that sound? Let's knock that out. All right. I want to show you, Xander. Let's have some of our interior decorator video ready to go here because we got a late night text from Gunner regarding some of his work.
I didn't.
Yeah, Barrett didn't because of his phone.
But you got that bootleg phone, man.
That's right. So this is
individually.
Now, how much of this was you? How much was this your son, your son-in-law's? Like, how much was total team effort? By the way, I love the truck. That's awesome.
I do. That truck is awesome, man.
That is awesome.
Where do you put that when it's all over with?
In the basement. You can't take it apart because it's too difficult. I will never take that truck together again. When that truck falls apart, we will say a eulogy for that truck and toss it because I'm not repairing it. I'm not fixing it. I ain't doing nothing with that truck.
I'll tell you what. First of all, that was good, man. That looked like
was,
professionally done.
You like that?
Seriously.
Usually it's me and my son and this is the inside, dude. Let me tell you something. You know, we have between 2 feet and 9 feet. There are 16 trees up. 16 trees between 2 feet and 9 feet, bro. I'm telling you.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, and here's the thing.
I like your attention to detail too, even the little things like that. Awesome.
That's not me. It's all my wife, dude. I'm just a handyman. This is why I'm hurting. This is why I got shoulder problems, knee problem, ankle problem. Walking up and down them stairs, grabbing all this stuff, man. I'm telling you, we got more stuff than Walmart. We have more Christmas stuff than Walmart, dude.
I think you do. But it looks. I will say this: it looks darn good, man.
Yeah, you guys are into the season. Tis the season.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man. Hey, look, man. I mean, hey, look. I'm gonna tell you something. Every year I tell my wife, please don't buy any more stuff. Please. Unless you're going to delete stuff, please do not buy any more stuff. Oh, no. And as you can see, my ladder's still there because we're still working and stuff like that. So,
dude, really good job. I got to say, thoroughly.
That's all her, man. It ain't
awesome
me, bro.
Yeah.
And it keeps piling up, man. I'm like, I love Christmas. I love the holiday season. But at some point, you know what I want to do? I want to pay somebody. I want to pay somebody to come in and steal it all.
Oh, man. So I went up. Seriously, man, kudos. All right. All
Thank
around.
you, brother. But man, hey, look, man, hey.
Well, whatever. Whoever did it, it looks great. It's a team effort. Take credit for it, Gunner.
See this tree right here? That tree right there, we have like teddy bear. It's a teddy bear themed tree. That's the kids. And the one tree right next to the teddy bear, that white one is glistening.
Yeah.
Dinosaur tree. My 3-year-old grandson knows every name of every dinosaur known to mankind. So we had to give him his dinosaur tree. We have the grandkids tree where we put ornaments with their pictures in them on the tree. And we got themed trees, man. It's like we could open up our own dang Christmas shop.
I mean, I agree. You could. You absolutely. So we did the interior, and it looks pretty good. We have to get I'm getting our tree tomorrow. All right, tomorrow morning I'll get our tree.
Oh, you still do the live tree?
I do a live tree. I do.
Oh, okay.
I could get I don't get a crazy expensive one. I get a like mid-range size one. Not bad. Got to figure out exactly where I'm placing it this year. But I do the one thing I don't mind doing the decorations like on the ground, like outside. I don't mind that. Right. I think I told you guys. I don't like doing the icicle lights on the roof. Not a fan.
I ain't doing that, dude.
I sucked it up the day before Thanksgiving. I went up there I went up at like 3:30 in the afternoon, which means I had about an hour and 15-minute window to try and get it all done, right? So I go up there, I get halfway through, and it was pretty dark. I'm like, I am not going out like this over freaking Christmas lights. So anyway, I got up early Thanksgiving Day and just banged it out, man. Finished it off. Like, good to go.
Kudos to you, bro.
Kudos to you. I ain't going on the roof. I'm not
a fan of the roof.
I'm not afraid of heights. I ain't going on the roof. I'll tell you that right now. Because I beat Clark Gibbs with Griswold. I'm telling you right now.
I live in a split level, so one side is nothing. Like it's nothing.
Okay.
The other side is not nothing. The other side's a little sketchy. But the problem is early. Or if you go like I went up pretty early, and Thanksgiving Day, if you remember, in our area was warm. It was a really nice day. But in the morning, go up there, 7:30, 8 o'clock. It's cold, it's windy, and the roof is still moist from the frost.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm up there, and it's kind of like a skating rink, and I'm like, I don't know about this. But anyway, I got it done.
Well, why don't you wait until like midday, like with the height of the sun?
Because he's got 1,000 jobs.
Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff.
He's got to go to work.
There's other stuff that had to be done.
Well, why don't you leave? I have a lot of friends that like to put the lights up around the rain gutters and all that stuff. And
yeah.
Why don't you just leave them up year round like they do?
I know. Well, you know what the move you could actually do, and this is I think what I am going to do in all seriousness. I'm going to take the icicle lights off, but I'm going to leave all their hooks there because you can't even see them, when it's dark. And it actually looks decorative. I know that sounds weird, but I may leave the hooks up there and make my life easier next year. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, save yourself the hassle, man. Yeah. Those lights, unless the bulbs blow out, which is even worse, unless the bulbs blow out, leave them bad boys up year round because by the summer, are they like clear white? They're like clear white?
They're like gold. You know
gold. What I mean? Okay. Yeah. Okay. What color is your house?
White with blue trim.
Okay.
White siding with blue trim, and it's brick.
People wouldn't even notice in the summer.
I know. I should just leave it. You're right. I'm going to say D. Gunn said leave it. I'm leaving it. So that's all.
No, don't tell Maggie I said that, bro. See, what is it with you and people trying to get me in trouble with wives? Don't mention D. Gunn.
You might get out of jail free card in case stuff goes sideways, man.
What is this, D. Gunn? Are you a boiled custard or eggnog drinker? Eric Winters, Neither one. Every now and then I have eggnog.
Eggnog's all right.
It's
once
okay.
a year.
Yeah, but people like to put
rum.
People like to put.
Right?
I don't put alcohol in.
Yeah,
no
you
eggnog.
spike that bad boy up.
I might go give me.
No.
See, I don't have to work tonight, so I'll probably around at 2:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30. I'm gonna have to give me a rum and eggnog.
No, bro. I ain't putting no alcohol in eggnog.
Hey,
bro.
man, get started. Have a little happy hour. I like it.
I mean, I ain't got to go to work tonight.
Why not?
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get fired on my day off.
We had you on, Barrett, last night, so we were doing the show from Screwballs. Myself, Krause, and the coach, Henry, your buddy Henry.
Yep.
Who's a great dude, by the way.
Great guy.
And it's called Countdown to Kickoff, and it'll be on prior to the JAKIB pregame on Sunday, so you can check it out. But so there's a big screen in the the dining portion of Screwballs. You guys have both been there, but
yeah,
great place, awesome people. But so it is Barrett, big screen, baby, like projector Barrett last night doing Birds Huddle. So we were checking you and Amy out, man. It was great. It was great. Yeah, and I might add, you got like 2 compliments on the shirt. You had like a sweet polo shirt on, and more than one person said, "I like Barrett's shirt, man." I said, "My boy Styles."
Yeah, for a big dude, Barrett styling, man.
Oh, for a big dude, not just you can't just say he.
No, Barrett know what I'm talking about, because some big dudes, man, they dress like, bro.
No, I know.
You got to take that tent back, man, because you can't do that.
You talking about my co-host sometimes?
Ouch.
You
got at least go. You got at least
No, hold up, man. I ain't mentioning no name. No. What is it with people trying to get Dion in trouble today? No, go ahead. Let's go back to the eggnog for just a moment. B. Brooks. Let me tell you something, B. Brooks. You know I love you like family. We take jabs at each other all the time. Don't have no alcohol tonight, B. Brooks, because you're crazy enough as it is without alcohol.
We saw tonight. I'm talking about like 2:30.
Yeah, he's going
early.
Don't do that. It's happy hour.
Don't do it, dude. Ain't no telling who you might curse out, man. Don't do it.
I become a lover when I drink.
Exactly.
Man. I'm cool, man. I'm
B.
a
Brooks.
lover when I drink, bro.
Don't do it, B. Brooks. I'm telling you, man.
I'll give you, oh baby, it's time. It's time for the wonderful sounds of B. Brooks.
I know you gotta do it in the Barry White voice, man. You gotta go Barry White.
My voice is not that.
Yeah, you got it. That's a tough one to hit, man.
Baby, come here. Can you cook me some dinner?
Oh my God! All right, so we got a lot going on in addition to the Christmas lights happening here. So let's start with this one. Jordan Davis apparently lost 20 pounds while he was out with the injury. Now I don't know about you guys. I was afraid this was going the other way, that he was going to put 20 on.
Yeah.
So it seems to me that he's pretty dialed in, man, conditioning wise and health wise, and taking his job pretty seriously. That's a great sign, and everything, all signs are pointing to him playing on Sunday. So this is good news.
This is great news. In fact, he probably referenced Bruce Smith, because remember Bruce Smith did the same thing. Bruce Smith went from 350 pounds to like playing at 280 for this entire career.
Right.
And it helped him be a Hall of Famer. So I'm glad he gets it. You can tell, great kid, great attitude. He does the little things. You can tell he wants to be great. Great locker room presence, saying all the right things. I think he's going in the right direction. Mm-hmm. Talk about guys, that's the type of guys they like in their locker room. They usually go get for their locker room, straight and narrow type of guys, great culture type of guys that can play.
Yeah. And he's, you're right, Barrett. The thing is, you so want this kid to succeed, because if you've ever seen him or been around him, he is the most happy-go-lucky, like appreciative, gets it kind of person. So he's got a great attitude, man.
Absolutely.
So that's good.
What? Less is better in this case, because as Barrett will attest to, when you 300 plus pounds and you got a bad wheel, even when it feels good, that's a lot of weight to be shifting at a fraction of a second, one way, back the other way, forward, backwards, and pressing up against somebody else just as big as you, man, trying to get leverage with your lower body. That ain't easy to do, man, when you got a bad wheel.
I'm liking him at like 320, man.
Yeah, man.
That's sounding real good. So,
he's skinny at 320.
Skinny Jordan, yeah. So looks good for him to play. A couple other odds and ends here. Avonte Maddox, there's no real word yet. He's eligible to come off next week, but Jeff McClain had a not a quote, but like he asked them, and he was kind of like, these things can be tricky sometimes. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he's able to come off next week, Avonte, but they miss him for sure. They need him. that's the good news from Eagles practice. The Phillies have lost one of their I'd say kind of key pieces here has departed. Zach Eflin, no surprise. Look, good for him, man. He got paid. He's going to the Rays. He's a Florida kid. He grew up in Orlando, but he got 3 years, was it 40 million, whatever it turned out to be, from the Rays. So he erred on the side of security. You know, with his knee history, if you can grab 3 years at that kind of coin, I think that's a pretty smart move for Zach Eflin.
Good point. Yes. With gimpy knees, you don't know how long you're going to have him during the course of a season. On the surface, it looks like he took less money.
Yeah.
But in the bigger picture, he's got 3 guaranteed years, $40 million over 3 years. Good Lord.
Happy Christmas. Yep.
You get about 25, 26 million out of that. Whoa.
That's on the lower side. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's crazy, you know, how much sports make these days. I can remember when I first got drafted, I signed a 4-year deal worth $1.3 million.
Wow.
And
that's a second round. That's a high second rounder.
Right. So I felt like I broke the bank. I felt like they just backed a Brinks truck up to my house. I went from eating oodle noodles and hamburger helper with no hamburger in it, you know what I'm saying?
It's a Capital Grill real fast.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm eating good, you know what I'm saying? I'm eating good. I didn't even know what filet mignon was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, what? You talking fresh to me?
Yeah, McNon. What is this McNon stuff?
Yeah. McNon.
Yeah. Filet McNon. Yes. Whatever it is, I'll take it.
Filet mignon.
Yeah. Give me the left side of the menu while you're at it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good there, man. But yeah, man, I went from that, man. Like it used to be that back in my day, man, you know, here I go, like I'm
there. It is.
Back in my day, like McDonald's was a luxury, you know what I'm saying? It was like a gift, you know. Oh, we're going to McDonald's. Oh, okay, I'm good. We're going to McDonald's. Now the kids now like, oh, you know, we're not eating McDonald's. It's not healthy anymore. I could get a damn about health or anything. Yeah. When I was growing up, when it comes to McDonald's, we going to McDonald's. I get a Big Mac.
Imagine being like anywhere in the age range of like 8 to 25 and care about, you know, health of McDonald's. Like, no, thank you. Oh my God, that's funny.
I mean, you can remember that, bro. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember back in the day they had Jack in the Box, Arby's, all stuff like
that.
Yeah, Roy Rogers. I love
Roy Rogers. Jack in the Box is still hot on the West Coast, bro. Jack in the Box is good.
Yeah.
You know what? They have.
I love Jack in the Box.
I was a big Roy Rogers. Their burgers were great, man.
Oh yeah, they were.
We still have Hardee's in Delaware, man.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know. I haven't had Hardee's since I was in college.
Yeah, we still have Hardee's, man. But you know, it's amazing how many different restaurants chains have closed up across America.
Yes.
When you think about, you know, like you guys just mentioned something, you go back, there's even some older names I can't think of right now. And it's like, wait a minute, they're out of business?
Yeah.
It's sad how many food establishments just couldn't sustain themselves anymore.
It's tough. It is.
But when you right now, because when I first got to Philadelphia, there was two White Castles.
Oh Lord!
Now there's
my goodness. Yeah, you probably put them out of business.
Now there's none. I'd have kept them in business. I'd have kept them in business.
Yeah.
I'd have kept them in business. It used to be one right there down by Oregon Avenue, right across from Cheerleaders. Cheerleaders, the Gentlemen's Club, and across
Steak
the street.
Club. It's a steak club.
The steakhouse. Yeah, the steakhouse.
Steakhouse.
Across the street. There was a White Castle's right there. Now they made it into a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. There's not enough Dunkin' Donuts.
And then on Broad Street, right down there, on Broad Street, there was a White Castle down on Broad Street, and that's gone also.
Yeah, there was. I think there used to be one when I would drive to the Temple on Broad Street. I used to see.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
It's a terrible thing, man. Terrible. There was one over in Jersey too, right across the bridge, right over by Lincoln Tunnel, right by the canals liquor store. There used to be one right there too.
Yeah, I know.
Right
rest in peace, man.
Let me ask you guys this, man. In terms of modern day food places, when it comes to Five Guys, their fries, for me, it's like crack, man. I can't stop. I gotta have them.
Five Guys fries?
Their fries. Oh,
they give you a lot. I'll say that.
Oh my goodness.
They don't cheat you on an order of fries.
Oh no,
you get a lot of nothing.
You don't like them?
No.
Five Guys fries. You don't like Five Guys fries, but you eat doggone White Castle. See, I ain't got no respect for your food palate. None. Everybody chime in on Five Guys fries.
I will say, but the one thing about Five Guys is they are not cheap. Like,
no.
You know what I do now?
What?
What tastes good to me at Five Guys? I get a double burger with cheese.
Yeah.
I get mayo. I put mayonnaise on it. Put mushrooms on it and raw onions, and I get it wrapped in lettuce instead of putting a burger. Instead of burger bun, wrapped in lettuce.
No kidding.
Oh my goodness, I might DoorDash.
That's a little different. Okay,
let me DoorDash. I'm gonna DoorDash that today.
You know what? My kids love DoorDash. I refuse to DoorDash. You know why? Because by the time it gets to your house, first of all, you don't know how many other stops they have to make along the way. And second of all, anytime you go into a place, whether it's a Wawa, a Five, anybody that does DoorDash and all that stuff, whatever the other ones are, you know, you walk in, you order your stuff, and you look, and they have the racks now sitting there, and there's a different, like Five Guys, and what's some of the other ones that do door delivery and stuff.
A lot of, almost all of them now.
And you see bags that are sitting there waiting for people to come in and pick them up. First of all, you don't know how long you've been sitting there. Second of all, you don't know, and sometimes they're grabbing 2 and 3 bags to take the. By the time you get your food, man, it's like cold. I want my food cold.
That's the luxury, man. Because if I'm sitting here at 10:30 at night, and I want some, my big thing is I get the fish and chips from Applebee's. Oh
my! What is wrong? You hate your palate, your stomach, man. Your gullet must be like a septic tank, man.
Bro, I can go to my DoorDash right now, and I can hit it. And as soon as I turn it on, if I go to Applebee's. Previous order, and
they know what you
that previous order is like it's probably like 15 times previous order right there. It's just around the same time.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Are you serious? You get some fish and chips from Applebee's?
Yes. Look. Ray said from Applebee's, brave man.
No, man.
Fish from Applebee's.
Oh John Dickerson, Barrett misses Arthur
Treachers. Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I tried I tried that one, and there was that Long John Silver. Remember that place?
Oh yeah. Oh, you know
I tried them one time. Let me tell you something. I bit into a piece of their fish, man. Grease running down my hands. That's it. I can't do this anymore. That's it.
You know where you get Arthur Treachers from?
What?
They get them on the side of the road, man. The places in the middle when you're on the turnpikes and you got to pull off the stops. Yeah, that's where you get them from, man, right there.
And there's a reason why they're out of business.
Exactly. Oh my god.
See, that's the reason why Rob weighs like $150. I weigh 225 and Barry weigh 3+. There's a reason why. See?
Well, yeah, because Rob, because they don't deliver. Well, I guess they would deliver just a box of Cheerios.
They could. I get this. You know what?
Here's the other thing too. When you do DoorDash, they have to charge you a doggone delivery fee.
Yeah, well, they do that.
No,
those guys aren't doing it for. They aren't doing it for free, man. You know?
But you know what? You're right. You're right about Five Guys. I mean, like sometimes I order for 5 of us, man. I go pick it up real quick, and that'll be $73.84. I said, what?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But the thing is, when I get in the car, my wife always says, "Don't close the bag of fries." And I'm like, why? She said, because the steam will make them softer. I said, okay. So I leave them open. That's like 5 miles from my house to Five Guys, right? Half the fries gone by the time they get home, bro. I ain't gonna lie. But the funny thing is, you leave the bag open because the mindset is always keep your bag tight so the food stays warmer.
Yeah.
And the fries are still warm when I get home, man.
That's always my school of thought. Just keep it tight.
Yeah.
Keep it tight. But and hopefully you don't just destroy the whole bag of them, on your ride home.
Oh my God, I can't do it. I cannot sit there with a bag sitting shotgun.
It's too tempting, man. It's too tempting.
Yeah, the devil's tempting you, man.
Yeah, man.
Them fries, them guys are good.
All I'm gonna say, try the Five Guys burgers without the bun.
Without the buns. All right, go a little wrap.
Go with the wrap. Go with the lettuce wrap, bro.
Okay.
I can't eat no doggone raw onions, man. I mean, your breath out enough as it is, man. You can't eat no raw onions, bro. I mean, seriously, come on, man.
Is he not throwing jazz at me every single time?
I complimented your wardrobe earlier. I had people at the bar telling me they liked it. God was going all in.
I'm sorry. When I said your, I don't mean you. I mean just in general.
Oh.
On a daily basis, your breath gets hot enough as it is, right? You gonna put raw onions in the fireplace too? You said about,
I'll be home.
How you doing?
When I'm home, I do what I want to do. Now, when I gotta go to work, I don't do it. But like I ain't gotta go to work this afternoon. I told you, you guys think I'm playing. I'm going to get me
oh man, you're gonna go crazy. I don't know what, man.
Here's one off. Enjoy it. You should. Here's
one more food for thought. And since we've derailed from the show,
yeah,
I gotta ask you guys this.
It's all Rob's fault, man. Rob, you did it this time. Yeah. You did it this time, Rob.
You ever notice that people with the worst breath are the ones that will get closest to you when they talk?
They're close talkers.
Hey,
they're like right here. You're like,
yeah, they're right here.
I need
your lip burning. You guys think I'm joking? When people get like that, I hold my breath when I talk to them.
Yeah, I can't.
You gotta hold your breath.
First of all, I don't care if your breath smells like a winter mountain fresh. I don't need you like right here.
In my face, man. Okay. Get off me, man.
Yeah, like well, I'm good. I hear you. I got you.
I ain't gonna say
a 3-foot barrier. I don't need you on top of me, man.
I ain't gonna say any names, but there was 3 or 4 people we worked with in NBC. Oh my goodness, it was like hot fire, man. They get up on my mustache, be twitching and stuff. I'm like, I ain't saying no names.
I'll tell you what's hard if you're doing, and I don't mean you guys, okay? I mean,
I'm glad you prefaced that.
I swear to God, I don't mean you guys. But if you're doing a radio remote, man, and you're all squeezed in on top of each other, there's a lot going on. There's a lot.
No, you know it's the worst. It's the worst. Back when I had a real shift on a radio show.
Yeah.
I'd come in and the person before me would have this.
Oh, it's the worst.
And it smelled like the previous person.
Oh,
that's why I used to bring my own, bro.
Yeah, so I either bring my own or I get, I don't know, I don't touch it with my hand, but I pull it off. I pull it off and I just go with the raw mic without the screen on it. But I'll tell you what's even worse. It's beyond gross, right? What's even worse than that is if you have to use a headset that somebody previously had on who either was dripping in cologne and or hasn't washed in a while. And I'm like, and I smell like that the whole ride home until I immediately get in the shower when I get home to wash it off of me. Oh my God. Telling you, man.
Something's wrong with Rob, man.
It's true. One time I was at a remote. There was a place that was, I'll just say it was right near the stadiums. And I throw one of these bad boys on and I'm like, no. I am not getting through 4 hours. We got to figure something out. And my producer is like, I don't have any other headsets. I'm like, figure something out, dude. Like, figure something out. This is not happening. And I'm the easiest. Like, I'm telling you, man, I am the lowest maintenance that there is. Like, you don't hear a peep out of me when I do things.
You just come in and do your job.
I'm self-sufficient. I just, okay, let's go. Blah, 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 blah. You could stick me on like the face of the sun and I won't complain or anyway.
Bro.
One time I'm like, oh. No.
Bro, let me tell you something. I've been in front of people whose breaths were so bad. My clothes smell like it the rest of the day.
Yeah.
You think I'm kidding, Barry? No, I ain't lying, Barry.
Totally
I ain't lying.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. And you know what? It's in your nose. You can't get it out of your nose, dude.
Yeah.
The worst thing, man. The worst thing, man. I was doing a show. It was at NBC, man, and it wasn't you guys though. But look, I'm on this mic, and it was 3 mics down. Well, 2 mics down. Out there, it was 2 mics down, and this person would say something. I'm like,
oh,
what is that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they said it. I'm like, what is going on?
Is there a baby with a dirty diaper around here? Like, what is happening, man? And by the way, like, you have to have some self-awareness.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
You got, like, I get it. Like, if you know, sometimes you're like, oh man, I need a piece of gum or whatever. Like, you know, like and then if that's the case, I'm trying to get away from you.
Right.
Like, if I know it's even maybe an issue.
Yo, man. You see what Phillypolis just put? Don't post that. Don't put it up. Look what Phillypolis just put.
Oh my God!
What are we doing here?
I know. What are we doing? This has been off the rails. This one, man.
Hold on, man. But first of all, number 1, it's Friday. Number 2, dude, we can talk X's and O's all the time, man. We real people, man, with real problems, real experiences.
Yes.
Ain't nothing wrong with incorporating some of this stuff, man. I just
right. Just doing my research, man. I'm doing my research, man. I'm looking at power rankings. This week's power rankings, bro, is gonna be a little different, man.
It's gonna be a little different.
It's a little harder than I would. This is the hardest week right here.
We're doing NFL power rankings, and we're doing best quarterback wide receiver duos. I love this one. This one's fun. Yeah. And some of it is off of last night because you had Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, but there's some killers, man, with the duos. So and it's a really good NFL week in general. So I would say you guys might have more, but I have 4 that are absolute, like, I can't wait to watch games, and there's a couple others that I would throw in there too. It's a good week.
Oh, there's one game that's at the top of my list this week.
Yeah.
And I want to pose a question to Mr. Brooks when we get to that. Okay. I want to hear his response on this.
Okay.
So I got a question for you, B. Brooks, today.
A-Dog has a future segment for us.
What
do you think?
His breath. Oh, dude, I got 10 people in Philadelphia alone I could put on that list. I'll tell you that right now.
Bro,
and no, Rob and Barrett are not on the list. No, they're not.
Bro, it's nothing like, bro, and I'm sitting there, I'm doing a show with, girl, everybody thinks she's the hottest girl ever. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a show with them, and all of a sudden, they don't know and feel what I'm feeling when I'm right there. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Yeah. No, and it ruins your appetite. Like everything goes, man.
Right.
Everything's gone.
I mean, I'm not talking about like stinking or anything, but like off camera, they turn
you off. They turn you off. Yeah.
Like I can't see, like right now, I can't see what you see. You know what I'm saying? But they're like, oh, I know. No, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yes. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. So,
nothing worse than an attractive woman standing there talking to you, and all of a sudden, oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. God, and I got this down to the art. Like when you're talking to somebody, I'll do this every now and then. Especially male or female, when they tell you, like, yeah, I hear you.
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I got you. Hold on, I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yep.
And I ain't coming back. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh, I'm out. Yeah, I'm out.
Oh my goodness.
I'm figuring something out. If I'm out somewhere, I do an Irish exit. You guys know what the Irish exit is?
What's that, man?
You don't tell anybody you're leaving, and you go out a back door, and you never come back, man.
Well, just certain things you gotta be like when you're over 300 pounds, you gotta take a shower and a half a day, man. A shower and a half means you might have to wash up a little bit, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just can't be a big dude and look sloppy on camera. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And also, you got big lips. You got to make sure they're moisturized. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that you have to take care of.
Well, I'll do that. So I will just say this. This is not a TV radio thing. This is just like your buddies or whatever. So one of my subtle moves is if someone's got the breath going, right? I'll take out my pack of gum, have a piece myself and be like, hey man, you need one? Like, you know what I mean? It's not, you're not hitting him over the head with a sledgehammer, but you're like, hey, dude, just maybe.
But somebody like Derek, man. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Derek would be like, will my breath stink or something? Is that why you want me?
True.
He will bring it out.
That's true. My wife will tell you this. She tells the kids, she goes, your dad's breath, your dad has never had bad breath. I overdo it. I brush teeth 3-4 times a day. I always have breath mints like Altoids, different out. Yes. I'm very conscious of that because we are in an industry where you have to talk close to people at times.
You do.
Absolutely.
But some people, man, wow.
That's a good point. The other last thing on this, I swear, because everybody's like, what are we doing? But
it's fun, man.
When we're in a locker room, there's another term for it, which I won't use, but when we're all gathered around in a scrum, in a locker room setting, you are right on top of each other. Okay. I am not kidding you. And you have to, because you're all just trying. I'll step back a minute. Like you're all, let me use this as a prop. I'm pulling out props now. Let's just say this is a handheld mic, a stick mic, even though it's got a little pod on it. You're like this, and sometimes you reach far away. But the problem is, and you guys have seen it, there's like a herd of people in there.
In there, bro.
So when that's the case, I mean, you can't help but like you're right there with each other. So please, like, take care of yourself, man. Nobody wants to get involved in this if you smell. All right.
And the worst is when it's
showers.
When it's training camp or September, when it's still hot and you got 50 people huddled together, and people lean on top of you because they can't hold that mic. People lay their arms on top of your shoulder. You got people with underarm juice on your shoulder,
and then you're getting wet. You're getting your shoulders wet from them. Like, dude.
Dude, all right. And then you're right, bro. People talking to you like, but here's the worst. Here's the absolute. I know we got way off rail, but here's the absolute worst. In all my years of covering the game, athletes. Now, Barrett, you know I'm telling the truth when I say this. Rob, there are X amount of football players who play a game. After a game, put on deodorant, don't shower, put on expensive clothes, walk out the locker room to get on the plane. And I got to a point where I got so comfortable with the Eagles players, I was saying, yo, man, this dude ain't showering.
I know.
And you hear dudes yelling at you, yo, man, you going to get your nasty bleep on the plane. Don't sit next to me when you get on the plane.
It's true.
Am I lying, Big Brooks?
No, you're right, bro. You're right.
Some dudes don't shower, man, after a game.
Last one. So I was doing a remote during the Phillies run at Citizens Bank Park. It was a great setup. We have a little booth right there in the hallway in the corridor. So there was this guy who I hadn't seen in a little while. I stepped out of the booth to throw something out in the trash can, which is right there. And I see this guy. Oh, yeah, whatever. So I'm thinking we'll shake hands or we'll pound or whatever. So he insists on give me a little hug, right? He's a sweaty mess, this guy. Like he's soaked. So he get I'm like touched. I'm like, he's all wet. He gets like, I'm wet. I can't believe I'm wet from this guy. Like, what the hell is going on? Don't hug me if you're sweating.
You know what? I know we got to take a break here soon, but T-Car, you couldn't have said it any better because I say this all the time. T-Car said, laughter is good for the soul. You know what? Even when you're having a bad day, if you can laugh, find something to laugh about. It's just something that comes over you. Whatever bothers you that moment or that day, it just dissipates for that moment. It might get you through the rest of the day, man. Mm-hmm. So, we're here to talk X's and O's in sports. Yes, I know that's what we
got plenty of that to talk about.
Yes, we're getting there.
But we also like that. I mean, anybody's been following us know we like to have fun as well. And we like to talk about stuff that goes on a daily basis. So,
but Xander is pissed.
Yeah, Xander's.
Man,
I'll use any of this content.
Something tells me I'm going to get yelled at.
Hold up, man. It's Friday.
This is terrible.
Oh, let me ask you something right now. Let me ask you something. You were already happy when we started the show, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's Friday, right?
Absolutely.
Don't you feel much better because we just spent 30 minutes yucking it up?
You're right.
Yes.
You know what, Xander? You might be the boss of this show, but you know what? Too bad. Today is our day.
You ain't the boss of me.
You ain't the boss of me today.
Yes.
I'm running D-Gun World.
God, I can't post any of this.
Yeah, right.
There's nothing here. There's nothing here. Look. He just sent us unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Can we get it back to the Eagles, guys?
Oh.
Come on, guys. I need stuff to post. Post this.
I had a former boss who would have stroked out like 15 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, he would have. Hey, could you guys get it back to the Eagles?
I understand. The Eagles play the Titans this weekend, and we're talking about bad breath. Is that what I'm understanding? Yeah, that's what you're understanding.
Hey, Rob, there were shows occasionally when I would get Barry to tell you, I would go off the rail and we start yucking it up, and boss would say, "Hey, can you do this?" I'm like, "No."
No, just like that too.
No.
Mulhern is like, hey guys, the boss is up here, man. She's trying to get you guys refocused, man. Yeah. So
I don't care.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but
So what? I'm having fun. I feel good.
Yes. All right. Well, that was entertaining. That was good. It was therapeutic. We all feel better now. We're all into good breath and hygiene.
Oh, wait till 2 o'clock, 2:30. Yeah. When I get on them drinks.
Oh,
I like it. Buzz Barrett. That's going to be a new segment. Buzz Barrett.
Call Mama Brooks.
Get on these drinks.
Hey, dude, if you do it while we're still on the air, Rob, notify Mama Brooks because I guarantee you something going to come out of his mouth he shouldn't say.
Yes, Mama Brooks will be monitoring this.
Notify Mama Brooks.
Yes. I will be just fine.
Is Mama still home or did she go back to St. Louis?
I just sent her back home yesterday. I dropped her off at the airport.
Okay.
And she called me this morning and said, I'm proud of you. I said, why? Because the young man that took me to my wheelchair, took me to the plane, he looks up to you. He said you are a great guy. I'm so glad of that. I'm like, I'm so glad. I'm so glad he said that also because if he didn't, my mom is all.
I love it, man.
My mom is
wow.
Good stuff, man. Good
she
stuff.
She makes sure.
Mama's always checking up. I appreciate it, Jeremiah, and everybody. Thanks for the input. And if you didn't like it, I get it. It's all good.
Yeah.
We'll make up for it.
Listen,
we just like to have fun, people. You guys have to understand this.
Yeah.
That's what we're about.
That's what at the end of the day, sports should be fun, and we're just trying to have some fun.
Yes.
So when we come back, Barrett's going to dig into his game plan here and
brush your teeth, Barrett.
Yeah, what the Eagles need to do on both sides of the ball to beat the Titans. We will do that. We'll do a little W's and L's, what the Eagles have the rest of the way, and we'll look at what the division has the rest of the way too. Cowboys, Washington, Giants, obviously. And
so some people are thinking this is an important game because because it's not a division opponent, it's not a conference opponent.
Oh man, I completely disagree with that.
Exactly. So that's what we need to discuss. This.
All right, we'll dig into that when we get back. All right, lot to do. Don't go anywhere. Barrett, Derek, Rob, we are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. I want to tell you about Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group, because knowing who to trust with your finances, yes, it's scary, right? And it took me a long time to find the right person, and I found them, and I want to have you find the right person as well. And that's Jim Murray, Principal Financial Group. I can tell you from personal experience, I went through a bunch of different people and they just weren't the right fit. They didn't have my best intentions in mind. He will have yours, whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review. If you have a small business and you're trying to set up your employee benefits, that's another resource that Jim can help you with. I know I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollovers to Jim, and I couldn't be any happier. Give him a call, 610-996-4751, 610-996-4751. You could email him as well, Murray, Murray, .jim@principal.com. That's Murray.jim@principal.com.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted, revered,
appreciated.
He is Action News.
He's compassionate, honest,
and fair.
He is extremely dedicated,
motivated, and always seeking the truth.
He's also funny. We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader, and we're lucky to have him.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Hey, we're back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Friday. Hope you're doing well out there, guys. Each and every single one of you. Hope you have a great weekend in store for you. So a couple things to hit, guys. Let's start with this. The Eagles taking on the Titans, 1:00 game. Lines dropped a point I think it depends how you look at it, whether you think it's a big deal or not. But, and Gunner, I think you saw in some cases, maybe it dropped about 1.5 or 2 points. But last I saw, it's 4.5. And from what I granted, I wasn't monitoring this super closely during the week, but it was around 5.5. It's down to 4.5. It looks like Vegas money's headed to the Titans' way. However, you want to view that or judge that. I tend to keep an eye on these things, for business purposes and otherwise. But I also use a line sometimes to judge, just how a game looks. Now, I'm not necessarily say that's the case with this Eagles game, but there have been some weird lines the last couple of weeks, and those lines have proven to be weird for a reason. But I don't think this is necessarily a weird line, so to speak. But I'm curious that it has gone the other way. It looks like the public money is going to the Titans.
You know what we always say, Vegas knows something we don't know.
They do. They do. And they also, the lines are dictated to by where the money's coming in. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening there. But let's hit a couple things here. Interestingly enough, this Titans team, guys, has not allowed more than 20 points in 6 straight games. So the defense has played extremely well. They are really good against the run, not so good against the pass. But let's dig into the game plan a little bit, and what you have to try to offset with this Titans defense, like what they're bringing to the table. They have a big injury with Autry. That's big, but they still have some beasts on that defensive side of the ball.
Absolutely. So when I look at this game, I'm not looking at it like, what their defense could necessarily do against our offense. Number one, because we have a precedence we've set when it comes to situations like this. I look back at how they played the Saints. And at the time, the Saints was the number 1 defense, number 1 against the run, number 1 overall. Couldn't score on them, everything else. But Jalen Hurts is that X factor. He's not the traditional quarterback, and they're not the traditional running game. They do things that are different. Like usually, for instance, this last game they played in, they knew that they could use Lane Johnson's athletic prowess to go out there and use him as a trapper. Use him to pull around on tackle traps, tackle counters. They used him as a difference maker because of his athleticism to kick out the hole, and they just run in behind him. That's masterful because now you got 2 big guys up front, Dickerson and Mailata, double teaming at the point of attack, driving up to the linebacker, and a very athletic tackle pulling and kicking out a 3 technique. That's unheard of. Usually you just have the one guy in, you have the guard do it. Not to say that Seumalo is not athletic enough.
Right.
But they just wanted, that would be a key. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at a linebacker reads his key. He reads a triangle. It starts with him. It goes to the 2 guards. And then it goes, and that's where he makes his read. He follows the 2 guards up to the ball carrier. So when you pull a guard, he's going to react in that way and go down. But he went one place out. It went to the tackle. So he couldn't read it as fast because the tackle was pulling. It wasn't in his reads. It wasn't a key. It was a key breaker. But but Lane Johnson was athletic enough to still get there to kick out that 3 technique. He was fast enough to get there and kick out the 3 technique, which opened up the hole, which allowed them to run that play. The play that the first touchdown that Miles Sanders ran was a tackle trap. They ran it like 5 or 6 times. They found the key and they ran with it.
They did.
When the Eagles played the Saints, the number 1 defense overall, the number 1 run defense, they had over 240 yards rushing. I think they had 242 rushing yardage. So you do what you do best. It's not what a team does best that you counter with. No, the Eagles, they have to have the mindset. All right, we're going to do this, and you have to stop us. And I think I know that's what Shane Steichen is going to go into this game with.
That was one of the things I was going to ask you guys about. As I mentioned, the Titans come in not good against the pass. We know the Eagles, what they do best is run. And that's the age-old question. Do you just say, man, this is what we do, stop us? Or do you say, hey, you know what? AJ and Devontae and the way Jalen's throwing the ball, I know we can take advantage. what's the approach here? Is it strength? Just, hey, you better stop us, or how do you go about it here?
You got to stop us. That's what it is. We're going to do what we're going to do. You adjust off what we adjust. We set the tempo. We set the style of play that we want to, because they're going to just want to play physical. They're going to want, that's a mindset that this team is coached under. That's what, Mike Vrabel is. He was a tough defensive linebacker. He was a guy that, he wasn't really a great athlete, but he did things the hard way. Even at Ohio State, he was that guy. He was just somebody that was going to outwork everybody, out-physical everybody. And that's the way his team is. He's a direct reflection of his team. He is a guy that's going to play physical ball. Hence, even their offense, the offensive side of the ball, run heavy, physical type of offense. But defensively, we got some guys in there that can play, man. I mean, Tart isn't as good as the other guy. Tart is, but he's a big guy that should be lined up right over Kelsey. Head up on Kelsey. We're gonna have Jeffrey Simmons head up over Kelsey. They're gonna try to take advantage of Kelsey's size. Try to keep him from coming off the ball. They know where Kelsey goes, the ball goes. And if I really truly believe that if they take Kelsey out the game, they'll win the line of scrimmage. They'll win the trenches if they can take Kelsey out the game. So any team that, I've seen have a great time against the Eagles offensive line have rendered Kelsey and used his size against him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Jefferson's Jeffrey Simmons is the upper echelon type of defensive lineman. He is a Pro Bowl guy. Like I said, he's built differently. He's built almost like a woman. He got big hips, you know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute, man. Why you say that, dude? Why would you say that?
Watch film, look at him.
You can't say that, man.
Why not? He's built. I mean, he's got big hips. He got a big core.
He's got a strong lower body.
Yeah, strong lower body.
Thank you, Rob.
We're not talking about hockey though. That's hockey terms. That's hockey terms.
Yep.
I'm just saying, man.
I got you. Yeah.
You know what? That's exactly what Washington did to frustrate the Eagles' run game. Washington is very good. People, when 2 times this year, Washington has basically been the only team that has found a way to neutralize the Eagles' run game. And why? Because of exactly what Barrett said. If you take Kelsey out of the equation, Kelsey is the engine that runs that offensive line. And if you can pull the fuse on Kelsey, you disrupt the whole flow of what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And Washington has done that twice better than anybody. Of course, Washington has 2 Pro Bowl D tackles.
Yeah.
Not many teams have 2 Pro Bowl. The Eagles do, but not many teams have 2 Pro Bowl D tackles in the trenches. But Washington that's a perfect example of what Barrett is talking about.
I like the mentality, just to get back to what we were talking about with the Eagles offense. I like the mentality of, we're not going to stop doing what we do best. You stop us.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Until proven otherwise, then okay, we'll go to the air attack. And it's not to say you're not going to, take advantage of AJ Brown, who's going to be highly motivated, and Jalen, who's showing you he can throw the ball. It's not you to say you're not going to do that, but 100%, you just keep doing what you're doing.
Look at Philiopolis. That's exact mentality, and in uppercase. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Bottom line, if the Eagles choose to impose their will against anyone, they will win the game.
Yes. All right. Interesting. That's an interesting take there on what you do. Now, I do have some concerns here, Barrett. I mean, we know that Mailata hasn't been the same guy since the shoulder injury. We know that, let's face it, Samalu and Dickerson have been a little suspect in pass protection. So how big a concern is that?
It is a big concern because you got Bud Dupree coming off the edge against Jordan Mailata. We're talking about a guy that's been in the league a long time, knows how to rush the passer, and that's what he's made his money doing. He can influence the game by his play. So we may have to slide the line. We may have to give him a little help, And when he plays aggressively, when he gets out on jumps, guys, there's nobody in the world that can stop Jordan Mailata if he goes out and play that aggressive nature. Perfect example. Remember how when Jason Peters just, almost jumped the snap count, get out there and jump on a guy real quick?
Yep.
That's all Jordan has to do, because when he puts them hands on you, there's nothing you can do about it. But if you notice, Jordan has been setting back and waiting for contact to get to him. He's not that type of guy. He wasn't taught that type of pass set. He should initiate contact, jump guys, get on them, start the fight early. You know what I'm saying? If I was him, that's what I would do. Bud Dupree can rush the passer and get around you. You know what I'm saying? So he can't open that gate up. It's imperative that he doesn't open the gate up. But how do you counter that? You run the ball, hit him in the mouth. Now you got 380 pounds of Jordan Mailata putting his hands and drive blocking a little bitty defensive end. Let me look it up. They say he's a linebacker. He's a defensive end. I mean, he's not dropping or anything like that. Well, he's 6'4". Well, he's 6'4", 270. Mm-hmm. So, man, I truly believe that the only way that he can make a difference in this game is if we get down, because now you're going to force him to pass block, and we don't want that.
Yeah. Look, Gunner, I don't know. I mean, I think that we know Jordan Mailata is capable of better. We know Sayamalo can be better. Dickerson, I need to see more from Dickerson before I'm sure in terms of.
I don't know what's going on with Dickerson, because it wasn't this bad last year.
No, he looks like he's going to take a little bit of a step back.
They maul people in the run blocking, but except for Lane Johnson, the pass blocking is a big question mark with the other four guys in there. And even Kelsey, as good as he is in run and dictating the run, he gets beat. Okay, and I'm thinking, what's going on with the pass blocking? Lane Johnson's the only one, still hasn't given up a sack yet, Right. But the other four, from right guard to left tackle, is like, it's not just a job, it's been an adventure when it comes to that.
They've had teams have had some success going against Sayamalo and Dickerson in pass rushing situations. And that's been a problem. That's definitely been a problem. Do I see it being a problem in this game? Well, whoever Simmons lines up against will have their hands full. They cannot open the gate. They cannot direct. We must run the ball so we can use play action. That way, we don't use it. It's not necessarily the run action to stop. The rush. Coming off the ball. It's not necessarily that they're trying to fool them with the run. When you run play action, it's more so to have the offensive line think more aggressively. They get guys and they're almost coming off the ball running. And when you do that, it makes that D-line start rushing again. That quarter of a second is enough to, have a successful pass rush. A successful block to keep them from pass rushing. Just that little hint that, all right, they may be trying to run will give you enough time to get on your block and stabilize your block and lock them down. Plus, it also keeps extra blockers in, because now you're going to keep a tight end and you're going to keep a running back in on this play action, which is a solid protection. So they're using it's a twofold effect. Number one, it tries to disguise that they're throwing the ball. It's almost like it shows they're running. But it also puts a more stouter protection because guys are more aggressive, and you leave more guys in trying to protect on the pass.
Interesting. Good thoughts, man. Good thoughts there on that.
Way to go, B. Brooks.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Good work. So when we come back, we're going to dip into the rest of the schedule. We'll look at W's and L's for the rest of the way for the Eagles, and we'll do the entire division too, and look at who they have coming up. And we'll get into the job that Sirianni and Steichen are doing in general, but in particular as it pertains to Jalen Hurts and his development. We will dip into that, and certainly we'll talk some Jonathan Gannon. We'll get the people going with that. We will do all of those kind of things. The Ganwagon is going to have a big game this week, Gunner. We'll dive into week 13 of the NFL. We'll talk about last night's game and whether or not the Patriots are cooked. We'll do all those kind of things when we come back. Don't go anywhere. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Derek Barrett, Rob. All right, let's talk a little Pro Action Restoration. Pro Action Restoration is the company that you reach out to if your home, a property that you own, a business that you may own has experienced fire, water, smoke damage, any of the above. They are on call 24 hours, 7 days a week. I know I've gone through it personally on a Saturday, and I reached out to Pro Action Restoration, and they got out there fast. They cleaned up my parents' house. The crew was professional. The place was, it's amazing what a difference they made in my situation. They're licensed, bonded, fully insured. They've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. ProAction will work in conjunction with your insurance company as well. So it could be water, could be fire, could be smoke, could be mold remediation. You name it, they can handle it. Give them a call, 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or online at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted, revered.
Appreciated.
He is Action News.
He's compassionate. Honest.
And fair.
He is extremely dedicated,
Motivated. And always seeking the truth.
He's also funny. We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader, and we're lucky to have him.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back in. Sorry about that. I just dropped my phone. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Hope you're doing well out there. Happy Friday, one and all. So we're talking some Eagles, and we're getting ready for this matchup with the Titans, which promises to be one of the big ones. That's for sure. For the Eagles the rest of the way. All right. So just a quick standings update, if you weren't up to speed on where things are. The Eagles sit at 10-1. They're the only one-loss team in the NFL. They have a .909 winning percentage, 5-1 at home, 5-0 on the road, 2-1 in the division, 6-1 in the conference are the Eagles. They've won 2 straight. Yeah, the Cowboys at 8-3 in second place, 5-1 at home, 3-2 on the road, 3-1 in division, 7-3 in conference. Cowboys have already played 10 games in conference this year.
Wow.
10 of their 11 games, yeah. The Giants are 7-4, 4-2 at home, 3-2 on the road. 0-2 in the division are the Giants, by the way, and they're 3-4 in the conference. Then you have Washington, who's 7-5. They won 3 straight. Started the season off pretty slowly, but they have certainly gotten on track since Carson Wentz went down. Coincidence? I think not. 3-3 at home, 4-2 on the road, and 4-4 in conference. Just 1-2 in the division. So some not so great division records. Anyway, we'll get into what everybody else has record or schedule wise in a second. But Eagles have the Titans this week. They go to the Giants next week. Still a 1:00 game. Did not get flexed.
Yay!
So I point that out again. Then the following week, they're at Chicago. That's December 18th. Then it's a little bit of a shorter turnaround, one less day. They play Christmas Eve against Dallas at 4:25. And then New Year's Day, at least as of right now, is a 1 p.m. game at home against the New Orleans Saints. And then at home the following week, we don't know the time of that game, but that's going to be the Giants. So the gist of it is you get a Titans team coming in here, having lost their last game, and needing this game for seeding, basically, in the AFC. You have a Giants team that has really sort of come back to earth a little bit of late. Nonetheless, going to be a tough game playing there in New York. It always is, no matter what their records are, these two teams. Chicago, not a good team.
Yeah.
But tricky a little bit because they can run the ball, and if Justin Fields is healthy and playing, is certainly dangerous. We know that much with his legs. You get a little taste of your own medicine, if you will, with Justin Fields when you take him on. But certainly should be a winnable game. I think the game at Dallas spells some trouble. Like if I was looking at this and I was telling you the games that I thought were most likely that the Eagles could lose, most likely, not locks or anything. I think this week's going to be a tough one. At Dallas, at New York would be my 3.
You know what? We're in the same wavelength of thinking. I couldn't agree with you more. And again, let me reiterate and emphasize, because people hear what they want to hear. I think those are tricky games. I've said from day one, from early in the season, I felt they were going to split with the Giants, and the reason being, as inconsistent as this Eagles team was last year, they were still a much better team than the Giants. It's just something about certain opponents that just give you problems. It just is. It's just the nature of the beast. It just happens that way. And I think the Giants are going to be that team that's going to give this Eagles team problems. I can't wait to see Sirianni and Gannon go up against Martindale and Dabo in terms of how they attack each other and defend against each other. And I think Dallas has got a few more games to worry about, but Dallas is gearing up for that rematch on national TV Christmas Eve at home against this Eagles team. I think it's going to be. I just think those are the games that you just mentioned. I think it'd be. I don't even want to use the word trap game, not trap game, but just interesting games.
Yeah, I like the Dallas game. Everything you just said, right? And Dak's playing this time. It is a revenge game. The Eagles beat him at home. It's the third of a back-to-back-to-back.
Right.
Back-to-back-to-back. I think for all those, it sets up as a challenge. That game does. Go ahead, Beck.
I'm not necessarily worried about Dallas. I'm not worried about any of the games we have coming up. The Eagles should win all the games that come up.
Sure.
They're better than all the teams they're about to play. But we all know it's any given Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for them to lose. Could they? I mean, there's always an opportunity. The ball might not bounce their way.
Yeah.
And we know, conference division games are always up in the air. You know what I'm saying? Always up in the air. What's the team that I feel as though could have an opportunity? Like you said, Dallas. I will be so pissed off if we lose a game to anybody in that Giants organization. I'm so pissed off.
Why? You got hatred towards the Giants?
No, just because they're a team that they should beat.
Right.
The Saints are a team that they should beat. Chicago's a team that they should beat.
Yep.
The only games that I really not even have reservation with is just the division games, man. Because you never know. I've been on a team. Yep. I've been on a team where we weren't anywhere near as good as a Dallas team, and we beat them. We beat them on the 5th down game. We weren't as good as that team.
Yeah.
We did not have anywhere close to that. That team was a dynasty at that time. That team was well constructed. They could run the ball. They had the best offensive line in the league. Their wide receiver tandem, Dion. They had Charles Haley. That team was.
They were loaded,
stacked. Yep.
There was no way we should have beaten that team. We beat them to get into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily how good this team, the team is when it comes to division games. Is more so you just got to go out there and do it. Got to do it.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. Look,
but like you said, Barrett, every Sunday, how many games a week on an average? 3? Will we come away saying, I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this.
At least.
Yeah, at least 3. And that's why I said just the average 3. Some were 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just the nature of the beast. It happens.
Yeah. All right, let's run through what the other teams have. You tell me kind of rest of the way here, right? All right, let's go Cowboys first. They're at home against the Colts. That's the Sunday night game. You know, I'm not impressed at all with the Colts.
No,
I think the Cowboys absolutely win that game, you know. With everything we just said, any given Sunday and all that, the Cowboys are a far superior team, and they're playing much better. Then they're home against Houston. Yeah. Then they're at Jacksonville.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, this is not a you know, it gets harder the last 3, but the next 3 are very favorable for the Cowboys. Then it's the Eagles game, like we talked about. Then they have to go to Tennessee. That's going to be a tough one, December 29th. That's going to be a tough one. That's a Thursday night game.
And they're going to be beat up because leaving our game, they'll be beat up, but they still get an extra day that we didn't get when we played on Thursday night.
Yep. Yeah, because they play Saturday. You're right, Barrett. Saturday to Thursday. And then they close it, which, again, this could be a really huge game at Washington. Like, that could be Washington playing to try to get in.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because all the teams in the division could get in.
Absolutely.
So
I would goes well with us.
I agree. So next 3 easy, and then the final 3 not easy. Philadelphia home, at Tennessee, at Washington for the Cowboys.
I think that I'm telling you, this weekend, I think the Cowboys they look back and like, all right, we're not worried about this Colts team. The Eagles just beat them. We know we can beat them, and they might sneak up on them.
Okay. All right.
In Dallas, though?
In Dallas? I'd love to see it.
I don't know, Barrett. If it was an Indy, I said, I agree with you 100%. But in Dallas?
What the last time they lost, they were in Dallas.
Yeah.
And they're home. They're gonna be a little more comfortable. It's a Sunday night game.
But if that Dallas team that showed up that smoked Minnesota keeps rolling like that, dude, that's a scary entity. And I know they still have Dak Prescott, the quarterback.
Colts got a defense, though.
True. Yeah, they do. Yeah, but then by then we'll know where Odell Beckham will be, you know, and that could be a game changer too. Now, obviously, when he signs with somebody, you still got to wait a while to get acclimated to his new environment, whoever he signs with. If he signs with Dallas, if he's got a game or 2 under his belt before that Eagles game to get the rust off, and you got him, CD, Gallup, and Noah Brown, to go along with Tony Pollard and Zeke. Come on, dude, that's a little bit different ball game now.
He's just got to show me he can stay healthy, man.
Yeah,
he has not been able to do that.
No, he has not.
All right, so that's Dallas. Let's go Giants next, then we'll do Washington. Okay, so Dallas and Washington play this weekend, and that game's in New York. That's a 1:00 game. That's one you keep your eye on, you know, during the Eagles game. See what's happening there in that one, and that's one of the games that we'll preview a little bit later as well. But then New York home against the Eagles, as we know, the following week. Man, this is heavy division here. Then they get Washington again. So they go Washington home, Eagles home, at Washington after that. So 3 straight NFC Easts for them. Then they go to Minnesota. That's a pretty tough schedule here for the Giants.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then they're home against the Colts and then at the Eagles. Man, I'll tell you what, I think the Giants are in some trouble.
I do too. I think they're cooked. I think they're cooked. Of all the teams left in the division, I think they have what basically murderer's row in terms of dodging landmines to try to get to the postseason. I'm not going to
1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4 losses in a row.
4, wow.
4 losses in a row. Ooh. They'll beat the Colts and then they'll lose to us.
If that's the case, they're
cooked.
They're cooked. Yeah, as bad as these other divisions are, I don't see them. And they're already on a bad trend right now. I mean, they've lost 3 out of their last 4. Their only win has been against Houston. They've lost at Seattle, Detroit at home, at Dallas in their last 3 out of their last 4. So they're trending wrong, as they say. They're trending in the wrong direction. That's for sure. All right, so Washington, they get the Giants this week, as we know, at New York. then a bye week. So the late bye for Washington, week 14 bye. Then they're home against New York. So their next 2 games are against the Giants. That is so strange.
That is weird.
Then they go to San Francisco. This is actually a pretty tough little schedule too. They go to San Francisco. Then they get Cleveland with Deshaun Watson at home, having a couple games under his belt, right?
Jeez.
And then Dallas at home.
Dang.
That's potentially 4 losses also.
Yeah,
Woo.
absolutely.
4 losses.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Like,
I think they'll beat the Giants. They'll split with the Giants. They'll cancel each other out. Then they'll lose against the 49ers. I think they beat the Browns, and then they lose against the Commanders again.
You think they beat the Browns?
Dallas. I think they beat the Browns.
Shoo, I don't know. Like Rob said, Deshaun Watson, a couple games under his belt.
Bro, yeah, I'm just not a big Deshaun Watson fan. Especially just like you in Minnesota. That's like me. And
that's your Philip Kryptonite there. Right?
Yeah, and plus Butch Davis cut me from there, so I know I hate him. I know I hate him now.
Wait, but he doesn't even coach there anymore. He still doesn't matter.
Yeah, I got a bad brown taste in my mouth right now. So.
I love that you're still hanging on to that too. That's beautiful, man. That's good.
Garrett, there's a saying, let bygones be bygones.
Uh-huh. I just don't like that saying. I don't say that saying.
Nope. All right, so
I'm sorry, Rob. Here's a good question since we're talking about Eagles in the division. Eric Winters brought this up earlier, and I wanted to find a way to weave this in. And his question was, do you think the critics want Hurts to fail because he's not the QB that they want? And I was like, interesting.
I don't know.
I don't know if they want him to fail.
Yeah, I don't think he's a guy who strikes me as people wanting to fail.
Yeah. But it's an interesting question. I don't know if he worded it properly, but I thought about it because here's the thing. When you look at every show, whether it's television or radio show during the off season, the consensus was, and as was the case with us, Jalen Hurts has so many question marks. I don't know if he can make the transition. Can he go through his progressions? Does he have the arm strength? Can he be a pocket passer? And as the season has progressed, we've sat here in unison and said, he's checked all the boxes and then some. So, you know what? There's some pundits out there that might, I don't want to say want him to fail, but are not big fans of his because he's proved them wrong and they don't want to admit it.
It could be. Look, I think there's something to be said for that. Yeah, I think there are some people who were steadfast, not believers, who were still kind of dug in on that.
Haters.
And maybe are still feeling that way. Maybe, yeah. I think there's something to be said for. I think there's still maybe a real. I don't think there's a ton of this faction, but there's still some people who want this to be just a drop back quarterback league, which it's not anymore. And if you're not understanding that, you're way behind the times.
Right.
Maybe there's a little bit of that. I don't know though. I honestly don't think like majority of people are pulling against Jalen. I don't think that's the case.
No, I agree. But I do believe there are some out there that refuse to give him his due because it goes against their narrative.
I think there's a little bit of not recognizing what he's doing, and they're just saying, oh, he's doing everything with his feet, which he's not.
Right.
He's become a way better passer. Right. That's people who really either have an agenda or aren't paying attention to the team. Because he's improved a lot with his arm. So I think I think that's probably more fair. There are some people who I don't think really get what the Eagles are doing. Like they watched Sunday night and they saw him go crazy on the ground and they're like, oh, well, that's all he can do.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, what have you been watching all season? Like the last 5 games, I just want to understand why. I don't understand the talk about his passing has regressed. His passing hasn't regressed. He's been a drop back passer the past 5 games until these last couple of games. They, because they wanted to protect him. Now he's back to what what we need him to do to win games, and that's be the quarterback / catalyst to run a running offense. This is a running offense. We wanted to be passing. No. Do they want to be passing? Maybe upper management does. But at the end of the day, this is a run-oriented offense. The offensive line is catered to run the ball on anybody at any time in any situation. So why not take that and embrace that? You know, stop worrying about them trying to pass the ball. So what if they don't pass it? I don't care.
Exactly. I don't care as long as you get the W, right?
Right. You look at, if Jalen Hurts throws 5 passes in a game and we beat a team 28-22, I don't care.
Right.
We get the win.
Same here. Same here. I can't say it any better than that. I mean, I've been, in the front of the line with this. Who cares how he scores?
Right.
Stuff, so.
You've been screaming like, who cares if he only has 18 passes in the air?
I don't.
For touchdowns. I don't care. He's got 8, touchdowns running the ball. As long as they're touchdowns.
Yeah. The other thing, did you guys realize that the Eagles right now have 21 rushing touchdowns as a team through 11 games? That's the 3rd most in franchise history.
Yeah.
Wow.
The record's 25. They're going to destroy that record. Shatter it.
Yeah.
Bits.
And did you know that most of the teams they played recently only have 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns?
I know.
Quarterback.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Look at Patrick Mahomes. He's leading right now the MVP voting. He has 1 rushing touchdown. 1.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
1 rushing touchdown.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, for sure. All right, stay on that theme for a minute here. Nick Sirianni's got a 10-1 team. He's got, he took over a team last year that had won 4 games the previous year. They won 9. They got to the playoffs in his first year. They have 10 right now through 11 games. His quarterback's improved vastly. He is an offensive coach. I don't know. I don't know that he's getting his just due in terms of the job that he's done overall here for this team. And I think the front office has helped them, and they put some really good pieces in place for him too. And it all goes hand in hand. I understand. But when your quarterback gets better, like he's gotten better under you as an offensive coach, and your team's 10-1, this guy's done an amazing job.
No question about it. No question. We all wondered how they would streamline the offense to cater to Jalen's strengths and attributes. I think they've done an incredible job of whatever Sirianni's playbook was coming in as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. And he talked about in the latter part of last season, when we look ahead to next year, we will go over what works and what doesn't work with Jalen, what he likes, what he doesn't work, which a good coach does. Sits down with his quarterback during the offseason. Okay, let's look back. Let's look at the film. What do you like in the offense? What don't you like? Let's cater to this. Let's implement more variations of this that you like to run your offense out of. And I think he's done an incredible job doing that, as we've seen this season.
He absolutely has. I mean, you're talking about you want to make your team the best team you could be. You got to utilize your talent the best way you can. It's not about saying, all right, this is with conventional wisdom to say it's going to help us do. Let's look at what the wisdom of what we see on the field, the wisdom of how we can make this guy better. If it's drop back quarterback, if that's going to make him better, then let's do it. If it's running the ball, let's do that. If it's handing the ball off, let's do that. Whatever it takes for us to be successful, let's do it.
Right.
And I think that's what Shane Steichen went into this season with doing.
I agree with you 100%.
And we know. Look, we also know that he's not too proud, to hand off the play calling duties. He is, like you guys said, he's very much willing to listen to his players and what works best. I think it's one of the reasons that he has such a good relationship with the whole team, but Jalen in particular, because he does listen to the guy. And you'd be surprised, Barrett, you could speak to this. You'd be surprised how many coaches may pretend like they listen, but they really don't listen to what their quarterback or their players are saying to them.
Well, just put it in perspective. That's kind of how the way the Titans run their organization. Their team believes and they trust in their head coach. They trust his ability to lead them. Same way with Coach Sirianni. They trust what he could do. It's not an environment of not necessarily fear, but hey, if you don't do it my way, it's the highway. It's not that type of organization.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dan asked this question. I have a question for you guys. Devontae Smith has only 3 100-yard receiving games in his last 28 games that he's played. Is that good or bad from this OC? Well, I would say this, Dan. This is just my take on it. When it comes to this team in this year, when you added Devontae, when most of the year you had Dallas Goedert, there weren't going to be as many opportunities. And I think he probably knew that going in for him to have as many monster kind of games. Now, would I like, I said this earlier in the week, would I like him to have a bust out? Yeah, I would. I would definitely like for him to have a bust out. But I think with the weapons that you have, and you have a team that runs the ball as much as the Eagles do, there's less opportunities for Devontae to have these really big monster kind of games. And, you know, the team's 10-1, you know, more than anything else. So I'm okay. I don't like, I guess the implication is the OC's maybe not doing a good job with them as far as that goes. I wouldn't say that. I would say you could probably get him a little bit more involved, but I think it's kind of a good problem to have because you have a lot of other options too. Where do you guys stand on it?
I agree. When you have the wealth of talent that this offense has, when you have as many options as this offense has, because let's face it, most teams in the National Football League don't have this kind of options. The few teams that I can think of are San Francisco, Minnesota, Buffalo, Dallas. When you don't have, you're handcuffed in terms of what you can do, and you automatically go into a game knowing who your go-to people are. You know, here, every week is a different star. We highlight a different individual every week. It could be Miles one week. It could be Goddard. It could be Devontae, AJ, and even Quez Watkins every now and then, you know, gets highlighted as well. So I think that's a good problem to have, and I guarantee you it keeps defensive coordinators up at night because they've got a plan for multitude of options they're going to face. If I'm a defensive coordinator and I'm sitting down getting ready to play this Eagles offense and I'm looking at what they've done up until this point, I'm sitting there scratching my head going, geez, where do you start with the game plan? You take away the run, they're going to Devontae, AJ, Goddard, or if you take away the pass, they're going to Miles, you know, a heavy run dose. It's a great problem to have, and because the Eagles have had that wealth, it has significantly attributed to their 10-1 record right now.
You're right, man. When I look at this and I think about, all right, Smitty isn't having the year, and he's a top 10 pick. He was the 10th player selected in his draft class this year. So when you look at it, he should have. They say you would think that he should have more production from being a top 10 pick and his second year in the offense. But then I think about this. My record is 10-1. Mm-hmm. So how can I complain? How can I bitch about production when we've had 10 wins on the table? So to me, it's more so we just have so much talent and we can beat you in any type of way that, I mean, even with Devontae being what he is in the red zone, you've got a red zone threat in your quarterback. You got a red zone threat in your tight end. You got a red zone back and your counterpart at wide receiver, Goddard. There's so many ways that they could beat teams that it's just really hard to focus on just feeding one guy. You know, it's almost like selfish. All right, I just want to feed this one guy. There's a lot of mouths to feed out there. There's more than just one guy. So that's why I look at it. I mean, you can't be so selfish to think, all right, I need more plays. I need more plays. Yes, you do need more plays. But so does this guy, so does that guy, so does this guy, so does that guy.
Yeah, I think one of the great things about Devontae is, and this team, he doesn't have that necessarily that receiver diva in him where
yes.
You know, some guys would be ticked off.
Yep.
You know, some guys would be for sure. And I don't think that that's the way he's wired, man. You know, Dan responds, 10-1 is true, but a team like Miami who has 2 or 3 stars in a game, Finns will have 2 receivers over 1,500 yards. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, like they throw it more than the Eagles do. You know, that's also part of this thing, I think.
Yep.
And look, they've taken nothing away from Tua, man. What a job that.
Hey, Dan, I'll be on your show. What time you want me on the show? 10:15 to 10:30. I mean, 3:15 to 3:30. I owe you. Yesterday, I got caught up yesterday, so I'll be on the show.
B. Brooks, look for him a little bit later. Yeah, after
3:15 to 3:30.
Yeah.
But see, to answer to Dan's question, they have a nice tight end in Gesicki, but he ain't Dallas Goedert.
Okay?
Right.
They have 2 premier wide receivers. Matter of fact, the best ball tracker in the game in Tyreek Hill. I ain't gonna lie about that.
Yep.
You know, and this dude only has 4 touchdowns, but he leads the National Football League in yards receiving. You know, Tyreek Hill is that dude. Okay, but I don't think Miami's offense is nearly as versatile as this Eagles offense. You know, Miami has to attack you a certain way to be as successful as they've been. You know, they don't have the running game the Eagles have. Okay, they got decent backs. Mostert's a decent back, but he has like 500 something yards rushing.
Yeah,
you got a running back who's close to 1,000 yards already. You know, and this is I think this is a much more balanced offense than Miami's. This is a much more unpredictable offense than Miami. And Tua's not running the ball. He's not going to take off and run as much as Jalen will. Now, I don't like Jalen running as much as he does, but we all agree that is a significant part of his overall physical makeup and his athleticism, and it's significant reason why this team is where it is. 10 wins and only 1 loss.
Yeah.
You know, you look at how his legs took over the game, helped take over the game several times this year. You know, you can't put enough emphasis on that. You're not going to see Tua run the ball as much as you're going to see Jalen Hurts. You're not going to see Tua have 4 or 5 options. He has 2 great options. The Eagles have 4 or 5 options they can hit you with through the air.
Well, even more than that, let's look at let's look at the schedule. When we look at Miami's schedule, and we talk about playoff football and jockeying for position. When you start looking at where they are and where they're playing at, can you take that passing attack up north to play the Bills or play Green Bay or go play the Pats? You know, can you take that passing game and can it have some success? Look, all right, so they're at the Bills on December 18th. It's going to be mighty cold out there. Then they got the Packers. They got the Packers in Miami, okay. But then they got to go up to the Patriots on January 1st. Those are 2 games right there. 2 games, 2 cold games. How do those guys play in those type of situations? Can you sustain that throughout the playoffs? They do have the Chargers at home. They got the Dolphins. They got the Packers at home, and they also they have the Chargers in San Diego, but then they have the Packers at home, and then they have the Jets at home. So they made out well, but how are they gonna fare in these on December 18th? While in the Bills Stadium, where it's gonna be howling cold, or in Patriots Stadium, where it might be snow on the ground. Will they still be able to, run that same type of offense in those type of conditions?
Right. Yeah. I think time will tell. And just to put a bow on Dan's point, he said, look, AJ hasn't played particularly well last couple weeks, and Goddard's been out, and the passing game has struggled. And I think some of that is to be determined here, just how off this passing game is. Like, as much as I think the Eagles are going to stay committed to the run, even though Tennessee defends it well, I think A.J. Brown's going to have a big game. I think the one thing to keep your eye on too is maybe Tennessee knows that the Eagles are going to try and feature A.J. Brown, focuses on him pretty heavily, and maybe Devontae Smith goes off.
Right. I think they're going to try to take A.J. out of the game, to be honest. There's one player on the field they don't want to have a big day, and it's that dude named A.J. And I think they're going to do everything possible to take him out of the game, which opens up, like you just said, opens up for a lot of other people to do some serious damage.
Yeah, Quez down the field or AJ or Devontae. So I also want to give Steichen a little bit of love, because we primarily, I think we're starting to mention him more, and I think we all believe he could be a candidate for some of these openings that are going to be cropping up. But I like what I've seen from him. He seems like a very smart guy. He's another one who seems pretty adaptable. I don't feel like they lose themselves necessarily. There are times where I would have liked to see them run a little bit more in certain games, but I think for the most part, they do a pretty decent job of staying with what works. Like last week is a great example. Okay, Green Bay can't stop the run. We are going to just bludgeon you on the ground.
Yep, absolutely.
And to me, I'll take that all day.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
I think it's just smart coaching.
No question about it.
Minnesota, they can't stop the pass. What do you do? You keep passing on them.
Throw them all day. Hit that porous zone all day.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Steichen's done a nice job. Look, they've assembled, other than special teams, which, we've covered a lot. I don't know what's happening there, but it seems like a pretty good staff for the most part. Like Brian Johnson is the quarterback's coach, who had familiarity with Jalen too. He's a fast tracker. in a lot of people's minds. He could go be a coordinator somewhere next year. You don't
absolutely.
know. But he's done a really good job as the quarterbacks coach. And they have Stoutland. You know, we know that. We know what he brings to the table. Like, there's a lot of good on that offensive staff, man. Really a lot of smart guys.
No, you're right about that. And that's also the drawback for a team that's trying to maintain consistency, not just 1 year, but for multiple years. Yep. When you're really good, all of a sudden everybody starts picking off your pool, you know, and then you've got to replenish the stock. And let's face it, what you replace it with is not always as good as what you had, you know?
Yeah. Andy struggled with that, I thought. You know, Doug, I think after losing Reich, had a tough time finding that right guy.
Yep.
So we've seen it hurt teams. We've definitely seen it hurt teams. Like, it's just it's the nature of the business. You got to deal with it, but it's definitely something to keep your eye on, for sure. All right, let's get a timeout, and we'll come back. We will hit a couple things we didn't get into a little bit earlier with the Sixers, the Flyers, Team USA. We'll dip our foot into those pools, and then we'll get heavy into the NFL Week 13 preview, power rankings, best quarterback wideout duos in the NFL. We'll look back at last night's game. And whether or not New England still has a chance this year. We'll dig into all of those things when we come back. Don't go anywhere. That's Barrett. That's Derek. I'm Rob. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, let's talk about Flynn Tree Services. Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problem that you may face. So ask yourself the question, do you have any type of tree issues in your yard or on your property? If you do, they're just a quick phone call away. They are experts at trimming all types of trees, and they serve southeastern PA, South Jersey, and northern Delaware. Flynn Tree Services specializes in tree removal, stump grinding, as well as tree pruning. Keep in mind, we got storm season upon us. It's a great time to have your trees evaluated, you know, before something dangerous could potentially happen with some branches or trees coming down. You go to their Facebook or Instagram page for more information or a sampling of their work. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's flynntreeservices.com.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted,
revered,
appreciated.
He is Action News.
He's compassionate, honest,
and fair.
He is extremely dedicated,
motivated, and always seeking the truth.
He's also funny. We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader, and we're lucky to have him.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask. including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back in. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Hope you're doing great out there. Hope you have a great weekend. Any big plans, guys? What do we have? Gunner, you're still a bachelor, so what's in the making? Movies? What do we got?
No. Wrapping stuff. Still getting a few decorations assembled. I got to my son and I have to put up a couple of inflatables on the patio deck.
You didn't do enough.
No, we didn't do enough. No, we didn't do enough yet.
Oh my God.
There's like 4 brand new inflatables sitting down that my wife had bought. And so 2 are going on the patio deck. One is a dinosaur shaped, and my grandson loves dinosaurs. And the other one, my son bought some huge Christmas tree inflatable. We're going to put those 2 on the patio deck. And I said, wait a minute. When you walk around the neighborhood, because if you walk out my front door and walk around the block, you never leave the block. So on the backside, you can see our house through the other neighbors' houses and stuff. Right. One of the streets. I said, why are we putting inflatables in the backyard? All you're going to see is the backside of the inflatables. And she says, because Cruz wants them up. I said, Cruz ain't paying no bills here. Hey, hold up. You're talking about Cruz want to see him. What about what I want?
Oh, my God.
Never about what I want. It's always what Cruz wants.
Oh, Cruz is that dude. He's that dude.
And he knows it, too. You drive up, this is my house. Your house. What do you mean your house?
Okay.
My house.
I mean, we know who the boss is.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And he gets what he wants whenever he wants it. So
all right. Good. How about you, B?
I'm gonna go see the Black Panther movie. Probably.
Man, I wish I could.
I might go see it tonight.
Okay.
Tomorrow's just football. Kansas State plays TCU at 12
big
o'clock.
One, dude. That's a biggie.
Yeah. So I'm ready for that, man. I'm ready for that. What else? I just know about 2 o'clock. I'm gonna have my eggnog
today. Wait, why 2 o'clock today?
You're 15 minutes out, brother. It's almost there.
Why 2 o'clock today?
Just because I know you'll be irritated if I do it.
Why can't you wait till 3 o'clock or 3:30? I don't want to see you when you sauced up.
Now, here's a question I have. I will throw this at you guys for tomorrow. 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Will either of you be watching World Cup Team USA against the Netherlands?
I will keep one eye on it as I'm moving.
You'll have it on somewhere as you're doing stuff.
Yeah. And when I hear the crowd roar, I'll jump in front of the TV.
Okay.
So it will be on.
What time?
10 a.m.
Man,
if it's 10 a.m. Yeah.
It's before all the college football. It actually times out pretty well.
It does.
Yeah.
So,
Bear's still gonna be hungover at 10 a.m. Man.
No, I'm just having one. It's gonna be a stiff one, but it's gonna be one. Yes.
It's gonna be a stiff one.
Yeah.
I bet you. I'm willing to bet money he has more than one. Once you take that first one, you be like, oh yeah.
Well, I'm trying something new. I'm actually trying something eggnog, and I got vanilla Crown Royal.
Put a wine cooler in it.
Oh, a little Crown Royal you're going to drop in there?
Yeah, vanilla Crown Royal. So,
all right.
Instead of rum, vanilla Crown Royal. So I'm trying something new. So
put some Thunderbird in it.
I can get some of that for you.
Back in the day, we used to take Thunderbird and we used to put the packets of unsweetened Kool-Aid in it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know. Yeah. I mean, no, I don't know. I'm sorry. What? I don't know
in theory. Yeah.
Yes, I've heard such things, Barrett.
It hadn't been applied. Yeah. It's not an applied science for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. Practically, we can relate to that. All right. So that's I'll be. I got my basketball team that I coach. I told you guys we're not great. Okay, we're improving. We're getting better. We won 2 out of 3 over the weekend.
Oh, congrats, bro! Congrats.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We're getting there. We're getting there. The good bunch. We're just small and we're not super talented, but they do try. I will say this: they give effort.
You don't grit your teeth when things are going bad.
No, honestly, like I'm like good cop with this team. It's like I'm my head. I'm the assistant, so I can be like happy guy. Like, hey, man, good effort. I'm that guy. I like being that guy during games. I'm harder in practice than I am.
See, I can't do that. See, I'm a terrible. I don't like to lose. I don't care if it's tiddlywinks. I don't like to lose. And
no, but I know going in that we're not that. If I thought we were better, I'd be harder. You know what I'm saying? I'd be tougher on them.
Bro, that's the damnest thing I ever heard in my life, man. Because I mean, and it's been applied to my whole life.
Yeah,
the coaches that were the worst to me, the assholes to me, were the coach that believed me the most. And to me, it's like almost counterintuitive to me to think that, all right, you like me, but you cussing me out.
It's true though, Barrett. I swear to you,
absolutely true.
If you didn't care, you wouldn't even bother with you.
Exactly.
They care. They believe in you. That's so true.
Coach Snyder saved my life.
When we came up, Coach got in your face and yelled at it. It made you stronger, man.
Right.
Now you got to have 53 therapists, 25 therapists coaching players nowadays, man.
Bro,
you got to have in-house consultants and coach these people now, man.
Bro, if you was cussing me out, man, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, once you stop talking to me, I'm like, oh, what I do?
Yep.
What's going on? You know what I'm saying?
It's like anything else, man. It's like any friendship relationship. If your friend or significant other is not paying you any mind, probably not a great sign. You know,
right.
Not that you want to be yelled at 24/7 either. I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean. You get the gist of where I'm going with this.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
All right, so you have that tomorrow. You got the USA Netherlands tomorrow in the knockout round of this thing.
What do you think? What are you saying?
I think USA is going to hang around. Like I think we could be looking at. I'm going to say USA wins 1-0. And the good news is Pulisic is going to play, it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Netherlands is pretty good, though.
They are good.
Pretty good, man.
Yeah. I think they're the best team they faced. Although England's good, too.
Yeah.
But there was a 0-0 draw with them. But I think the USA's feeling pretty good about themselves after the way they played in the last game against Iran.
They should.
Yeah. Should be fun. All right. So the Sixers are at Memphis tonight. We're looking at Harden on Monday at Houston. So Harden will be back then. They're taking on a good Memphis. Memphis, if for people who maybe haven't watched, if you just watch the Sixers and you're not the biggest just around the league, Memphis is a fun team to watch, man.
Oh,
Ja Morant is a show in and of himself. But they're good, period. Like it's not just him. This is going to be a tough task. I don't feel great about the Sixers' chances tonight. I just don't.
You know, for a smaller dude, his ability to levitate when he goes up with the ball. Oh. My goodness, that dude hang time is like 8 seconds, man.
Yeah.
This dude is sick.
He's such a gamer too, man. He wants to take every big shot. I just love the dude's mentality, man. He's a dog. I'm a huge Ja Morant guy. They're very well coached on top of everything else. So this feels like a tough one for the home team. We'll see. Maybe it's not a scheduled loss. You know, maybe they'll actually fully try. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
Stranger things might happen. You might try and win. Who knows?
I'm glad you brought that up. Did you see the Philadelphia Inquirer Twitter's story about Doc Rivers' scheduled loss comment and put the Sixers coach on the hot seat again after he spoke honestly following a virtually unwinnable game in Cleveland? Some took it the wrong way. They shouldn't. Writes. Well, I can't tell who wrote this, but so Doc basically, I guess, backtracked from his comment. But you got to you see, it's already out there, dude. And you've said this more than once. You said it last season before the playoffs, and here you are saying it again, and now you're trying to backtrack from it, dude. It's too late.
Well, the other thing is like this virtually unwinnable game. Like Embiid was playing.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you're missing Harden and Maxey, but give me a break. Virtually unwinnable. Like
they play better without their stars.
I know, and Cleveland's not that good. I mean, give me a break.
No, and you say that, and you had a day's rest to get ready for that game.
I don't
understand. I don't understand where that comment comes from. Why didn't you learn your lesson as a veteran, former player, and a veteran coach who has won a ring? How do you not learn from that mistake a season ago?
Yeah,
you can't say that.
I got to tell you that so turned me off, man. I am so I'm not the biggest Doc Rivers fan to begin with. That just
Doc about to be fired. Rob spoke it.
So a couple other things. Flyers are lost to the Lightning last night. It was really I watched like the first. I'm sorry. I got home. I watched probably the midway through the second period and the third. Man, it was not pretty. And granted, the Lightning are really good, but still.
You watched that much?
But I was going back and forth between that and the football game. That football game too got tough by the fourth quarter.
Did.
Yeah, it was, man.
I tell you what, Buffalo defense played like the Buffalo defense I expected to see early Man, I'm gonna tell you something. That when that defense is on, even without Von Miller, that's a chokehold defense, man.
Yeah,
that
good.
defense was balling last night.
Yeah, and they don't have it. It's no longer this New England's got their number thing anymore. It's just not. We'll talk about it in a second, but yeah. 100%. Flyers lose. They're 1-8-3 in their last 12, and Tortorella called out the effort. And earlier in the day, Chuck Fletcher, who's still the GM somehow, talked about how it's going to be a long road and all this other stuff. The one thing I will say, I'll give Tortorella credit. One of the things he said last night after the game, and it's not the first time he said this, but he said, look, we're not in a quick fix thing. We can't fix this thing with a Band-Aid. We all just have to accept it. We got to take our lumps and let these find out who can play and who can't. That's where we're at. There's no trading for some veteran to come in and get us a couple of goals here and there. We got to find out who these guys are. And I completely agree with that.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, they got off to a great start. Now the laws of averages and their average talent pool's caught up to them. There's just no match against the better teams in the league. And, it's going to be one of those seasons. I try to be optimistic. Barrett calls me a pessimist and my glass is always half empty, but I try to be optimistic and they let me down. So therefore I'm going back to being the pessimist / realist.
Well, I think if you look at both of these teams, Sixers and Flyers, I mean, there's totally different expectations. The Sixers, the expectation should be you get to a championship. I'm sorry. This team's been together. I know Embiid's been here for a long time. You have Maxey, you have Harden, you went out and got PJ Tucker. You're trying to win now. The Flyers are not. They're not. They're trying to figure out exactly what they are, who they are, who can play and who can't. So
and how to build around it in the future.
Yeah, and I don't know that they have the right people in place to evaluate that talent. I don't know. Chuck Fletcher's done nothing good since he's gotten here.
Right.
So
you're right. It's kind of crazy when you look at it. You look at the talent that we thought were going to be team players that are going to transcend, and they just haven't done it. You know what I mean? I mean, Carter Hart was supposed to be the second coming. Ivan Provorov was supposed to be the yin to the defense's yang. Travis Konechny was supposed to be a guy that's going to score for us all the time. Kevin Hayes hasn't stepped up as much as I thought it was going to be. Sean Couturier, I think he's from that old regime, and he's an injury away from being out of here anyways.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't see much talent on the team at this point. And I don't know hockey like that, but I know what I see on the ice right now.
I'm with you, Barrett. Yeah,
they're not playing fast. They don't have a style. They're not playing fast, and they're not playing aggressive. They're not, to me, I don't know what type of style they're trying to play with.
Right. I don't know what their personality is either. I don't know that they know yet. I think they're still feeling it. They're kind of in the dark. Like you get up in the middle of the night, you're like, you don't want to bump your toe, or you're like,
right. Yeah. What's their game plan? What is their game plan?
Yeah.
You see some teams are quick, fast, explosive teams. Some teams are gonna, road grade you. I don't know what their personality is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I agree 100%.
Still figuring it out for sure.
We ever will for the season.
Well, yeah, I think that's true. All right. So we mentioned earlier that Zach Eflin signs with the Rays, gets a multi-year deal. The winter meetings start on Sunday, I think, for Major League Baseball. And that's when everything is really supposed to kick up a little bit more, a couple notches with the big names, with the big boys. And they're, I think Judge is one, where they could set the market, if he ends up getting, we were talking about it earlier. What did we say? 8 years, $300 million is the offer right now for him.
Yeah, from the Yankees, yes.
It feels like that's going to sort of kickstart
the
Trey Turners and the other big names that are out there. So I'm telling you guys, everything that I've been watching on the MLB Network, they feel like this stuff's going to happen next week.
Really?
So yeah, like at least start to like with the big names. So that's good. I mean, I love that we're not going to have to wait all year for this and speculate and all that, and we can really start kind of digging in on what's going to happen with the Phillies. But I think that's going to be the first thing that they do. They're going to sign one of the big name shortstops, and then they're going to figure everything else out after that. And that's they're doing exactly what they should be doing. And you're going to have a good defensive team, by the way. Let me put it this way: if you end up keeping Bohm at third, Bohm improved in a big way. If you say you have a Trey Turner at shortstop and you have a Stott at second base and a Real Muto, your only weak link in the infield is Rhys Hoskins right now.
Yeah.
And if you start the year with Marsh and or Vierling in center, that's a good center fielding team. If you
by committee,
yeah, that's fine. But if you get Harper back at some point and you have Harper and the rest of that crew, the only area you're not great is left field and first base. That's not bad. You will have upgraded your defense in a big way, which they needed to do. By proxy, by making some of these moves, you're going to be able to move some other people around and make yourself better. Segura was a good fielder. Don't get me wrong. And you're probably losing him. But all in all, you're going to upgrade that side of the ball. That's for sure. And I think that's big.
I think the biggest thing is we're going to get a 300 hitter at the shortstop position. That's the biggest thing. We need a consistent hitter coming in.
Yep. Great way to put it, hitter.
All right, you had a great hitter in Castellanos until he got here. And what happened?
Yeah. I try to avoid bringing him up there. But thank you. Thanks for that reminder.
You did.
Blow it outside.
You just totally avoided it too.
I did. I avoided it.
That was on purpose, huh?
I can't let that stuff go.
Drug me back in. All right, when we come back, so we're going to hit a bunch of different things. We're going to talk about the game last night, which we touched on really briefly, the Bills and the Patriots. Von Miller update health-wise. Patrick Peterson maybe wavering a little bit. Best quarterback receiver duos. We got our power rankings in the NFL, and then we will dip into the full-blown schedule of Week 13 in the NFL. By the way, 2:30, Dan Koob is going to join us from Sport Trade. We'll get his thinking on the Eagles games, all the games in the NFL. We'll throw that Team USA Netherlands game at him as well for what he likes this weekend coming up. So we've got a lot in store for you. Don't go anywhere. Barrett, Derek, Rob, Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. I want to tell you about Razor Technology. Razor Technology's comprehensive managed service provider solution delivers constant monitoring, on-demand assistance, and rapid issue resolution. Through data vetted and insight-driven implementation, they strengthen your existing IT resources with both human power and expertise that reduces security risks and downtime while enhancing organizational efficiency and productivity. They are a strategic resource for adaptive and fast-growing companies that need help selecting, implementing, and managing their IT services. Their goal is always bigger than one project, one problem, or one upgrade. It's improving the overall functioning of our partners and helping them achieve their business objectives through ongoing synergistic relationships. Give your IT team the freedom to refocus by augmenting their reach with Razor Technology. Contact Razor Technology today to learn how their managed services can protect and enhance your business by calling 866-797-3282, 866-797-3282, or visit them online at razor-tech.com. That's razor-tech.com.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted,
revered,
appreciated.
He is Action News.
He's compassionate, honest,
and fair.
He is extremely dedicated,
motivated, and always seeking the truth.
He's also funny. We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader, and we're lucky to have him.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia Dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Back, everybody. Final hour of the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you're having a great Friday. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. He's Derek Gunn. He's Barrett Brooks. I am Rob Ellis. All right, so let's dip into last night, guys. The Bills take care of business over the Patriots. That was the first time they played this season. They play again a little bit later in the year. You know, it was really not that competitive a game. I know the score doesn't look like they killed them, but you never felt like New England was going to come back in this game. They just don't have enough. Oh, it's eggnog time. Hold on.
What?
Now are we? What do we have going on? So it's the eggnog and what else?
Oh no.
What else are we incorporating here?
Geez. Man, this dude like.
He's got the special little wrap on it too.
He's about to get like Grady from Sanford or something, man. I'm telling you, man.
Who was the cousin?
Rollo.
No. The one who was married to Aunt Esther. That was the one who always was he.
Oh, that was Buddy. No, Woody.
Woody was always getting after it.
He was always drunk, man. You imagine that you married to Aunt Esther, you stay drunk too all day, man. You know.
That is correct. Yeah.
Hey,
can't blame him. Can't blame him.
Look, dude, you wake up, you're like, oh my goodness, what in the world is it? Look, he's swishing it around too.
Oh yeah, he's getting after it.
Ice in it.
Oh, he's got it in the jar too.
In the mason jar.
Dude, you can't put ice in the eggnog, man.
That's serious business right there.
No, it waters it down. No, man, you're watering it down, dude. Look at this.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say that's some pretty good stuff there.
I like it.
Dude, I'm guarantee you by 2:40 it's gonna be some F-bomb. Call Mama Brooks now. Mama Brooks, we need you.
I can't know because I still got to do Dan's show at 4:00.
Oh, that's gonna be really.
That's gonna be worse.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I got to do Dan's show at 4:00.
I like it, man.
I will not embarrass Sports Take, and I will not embarrass Dan on the football show.
See, Barrett won't go from 0 to 180. He's going to be fine. He's pacing himself.
Okay, Rob, you say that on the surface. I know a much deeper, dark side.
Oh no,
of Barrett Brooks.
Here we go,
bro.
Barrett to go to the fridge. Who took my last sandwich? I'm a bleepity bleep.
Yeah, don't get him hangry. Do not get him hangry, man.
Well, I mean, my daughter just brought me up a sandwich, man. So
there you go.
Good. Yeah, she got me a.
Where is it?
A Primo's. It's on the couch.
It's on the couch. Yeah. How many people in the house right
now? Everybody's here.
You better hide that sandwich, bro.
No, they went out. They got their own. They just bought me one too.
Okay.
They thought about me. I didn't even ask for it. They thought about me.
That's progress, man.
No question. See?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, here we go. So last night's game, just back to it, it never felt like New England was going to be able to get back in the game. And there are times you watch them and that offense is just putrid. And you saw the reaction. Mac Jones on the sideline was basically like, throw the bleeping ball. The running game sucks. He said that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I did see that. And it was sucking, but they couldn't stop the pass rush.
No.
Of New England. So why even try to do that then? To me, it didn't make sense. You know, you're sitting there cussing them out for them not being a running ball. The reason why they wanted to run the ball because you couldn't stop the pass rush of the Bills. They were going, man. I mean, it was ridiculous how much pressure they were getting on him, man. It was crazy.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm trying to figure out, what do you want him to do?
He
want to get hit?
No, again, I'm just telling you what he said. He wanted to push the ball down the field a little bit more rather than the short passing game.
But how do you do it? Because at this point, they couldn't. I mean, you look at what's the name? Rousseau?
Yeah.
The defensive end for Miami?
Yeah, Miami kid. Yep, Rousseau.
Coming.
Yeah.
He was coming. Yeah. And then, you look at Epinesa. He was coming.
He played well.
Iowa, yeah. He was
a stud in college. He was a stud in college.
At Iowa, he was that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the only thing New England had was this running back named Stevenson. It was like watching Beast Mode Part 2 last night, man.
Yeah.
That dude bouncing off people and running over people, and he's 6'2", 240, and I'm like, my goodness, he's freight training people, man. And unfortunately, they didn't have much else.
Here's the question I have for you guys: bigger picture. Like, if they don't make the playoffs, which I don't think they are, okay? If they don't, does Belichick admit his mistake of this Matt Patricia, Joe Judge thing, whatever they're doing, with as far as their offensive coordinator situation goes, and bring in a real offensive coordinator?
He should have found that. He should have done that halfway through the season.
I agree, but we also know he's a prideful guy, to say the least.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know, man.
Because Mac Jones is going the wrong way, guys, and he was way better as a rookie.
Yeah, he was
with Josh McDaniels. And I don't like McDaniels as a head coach, but he's a good offensive coordinator.
Yes, he is. Belichick's his own dude, man. He does what he wants to do, but he's got to be smart enough to know that what he has right now doesn't work with what he's trying to do offensively. He's got to know that.
Well, actually, in all actuality, man, he might be able to get Josh McDaniels back at the end of the season.
For the third time.
You know what? It's not crazy.
He might be back. In fact, Josh McDaniels might say, you know what, I quit. And he might go up instead of them firing him.
Yeah, that'll be it. Like, no one's playing the game anymore with Josh McDaniels, if that's the case.
Right.
No, I actually do think he'll be back with the Raiders simply because, Mark Davis, he's another one. I mean, he's not going to let that happen. He went on he was his guy. He bounced the special teams coach who took over for Gruden, who did a really good job.
Did a great job.
And bounced him to bring in McDaniel. So I do think he survives it. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens in New England because I don't think he has the weapons either. But Mac Jones is not anywhere near as good as he was last year.
No, absolutely not. The only thing that's really keeping them in the game is the defense. Patriots have a good defense.
Yeah.
So offense is killing them right now. You're right. And I'll go so far as to say, I don't know if they'll have a winning record when it's all said and done, to be honest.
Yeah. You know what? Let me look at what they have left. So they're right. What are they, 6-6 now?
Yeah. Yep.
So they have, okay, here it is. All right. So what they have coming up, they'll get a little bit of an extra rest with the Thursday game. They're at Arizona, winnable game. They're at the Raiders. I don't know. Maybe the Raiders are on a run by that point because they've won 2 straight, but I don't know. Then they get Cincinnati at home, Miami at home, at Buffalo.
Okay. Yeah. I think they're cooked.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing for them is maybe Buffalo doesn't have anything to play for in that game. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they're making the playoffs.
Nope.
No, I think last night was a true telling tale of this team's deficiencies, and it's going to bite them over the last 5 games of this season.
Yep. Yeah, I think you're right. And look, Buffalo, even though he did fumble the one time, the stuff that Allen's able to do, like the one that he throws where he's rolling to his right towards his own sideline.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, it's amazing. It really is amazing. So they win, and Buffalo is. I still think they're on a collision course with the Chiefs. There's other teams that you could throw in there from the AFC for sure, but they're 9-3 right now. Miami's got to keep pace. They're 8-3. Baltimore just keeps, letting you down. Cincinnati looks like they're starting to heat up a little bit. Tennessee's got the Eagles. That's a big win for Buffalo this week, considering who some of the teams around them from a seeding standpoint, who they're playing this weekend.
And they're keeping neck and neck with Miami for that division title.
Yep.
That's huge.
Yeah.
You can go from being either the 1 or the 2 or 3 seed to 5 or 6, depending on who wins that division. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's huge for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously they've got to go 4 weeks now without Von Miller. They don't have Micah Hyde walking through that door again this season. Man, I tell you what, they've got the offense. If they can just hold it together defensively, if they play like they did last night, they'll be all right.
Absolutely.
See, that's the thing, though. Can they keep it together like that?
Exactly. Yeah.
They've shown flashes of the old Bills and the new Bills these past 3 or 4 weeks, man.
Yeah, they have. You're right.
I
mean, we were thinking they were the number 1 team outright, and they've definitely shown kinks in their armor.
Yep.
So I don't know. Do they? When we do our rankings, do they jump back into the top 3, or they stay right around 5 or 6?
Ooh, stay tuned. Good tease.
Oh, look at that team!
Look at Barrett. What unbelievable, man!
That's soft. That's soft, man. I'm thinking better than he ever had.
I'm telling you, man. I like that. That was awesome. So we will do our NFL rankings in a minute. But Barrett, good foreshadowing there, as they say. Now, Von Miller, this is not good news for Buffalo, but Von Miller's going on the IR, so he's definitely out 4 games. Their hope is get him back, get him a couple of games maybe under his belt before the playoffs hit. But yeah, I guess it could have been worse. That looked worse when he went down on Thanksgiving.
It did look bad, man. It did look bad.
All things considered, to have him coming back at some point, I guess, is a good thing. But he thought initially he was going to only have to miss 2 games. But clearly it's a little bit worse than that. That's what he said on his podcast. Anyway,
wasn't it a torn meniscus or
Barrett? I mean, it's
they're
not
painful,
good,
man.
Yeah,
they're painful.
Not an ACL.
Yeah.
So Patrick Peterson says he doesn't have a beef with Kyler Murray. He was simply stating, body language and stuff everybody can see. I don't believe it. You played there 2 years. You're still friendly with a lot of people who are on that team right now. I just don't buy it. I think he was telling the truth. He feels a little bit bad. He backtracked. He said he reached out to him and he hasn't heard back from Kyler Murray. So that's the latest on their little spat that those two had.
Basically, that's damage control right now.
Yeah.
You come on, man. You got to be smarter than that. Obviously that statement is based on players he's talked to within the Cardinals organization. As if they don't have enough going on. The quarterback's trying to get the coach fired. The team's losing, and you throw that in there. So obviously players have been talking to Patrick about this. And, if you're going to say it, Patrick, just stick to it now. It's too late. Don't try to backtrack. Body language and all this stuff. You know what you meant when you said it initially, because if you wanted to say it the way you said it today, you would have said exactly that yesterday.
Right.
Well, we've been saying that. We've been saying that for the past 2 years, me and you, Derek, about
what?
His body language is horrible.
It is. Yeah, it is.
And you can't be a leader on the team with that type of body language.
No. He reminds me somewhat of Eli Manning. Eli would mope when things would go bad for him.
Right.
Oh, yeah, he did. He did. You're right.
Yeah,
well, Carson did also.
Carson did. I'll give you the king of it, Jay Cutler.
Oh, no question.
The absolute hate the face, mopiest guy you'll ever see.
No question.
Jay Cutler.
Oh my goodness. There's no question about that. You can't. You're right. When you're the highest paid player on the team, even when bad times are going on, you've got to be the biggest cheerleader, the biggest motivator, the biggest supporter, and he's not, man.
You can't.
And if you have issues, do it behind closed doors. You can't do that stuff publicly. Look, I get there are certain, like Aaron Rodgers and whatever. I don't like that he does it either, but at least he's accomplished something in the league.
And that's the big thing. He has done something that he has a little more cachet.
Yeah.
To have an attitude. He's done a little bit more, like it or not, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
Like it or not.
I hate to deviate, but I can't wait to get this John Dickerson on it. Well, you see this. Tune in everyone Christmas week when the guys will be putting on A Christmas Carol with D-Gun and Scrooge, Rob is Tiny Tim, and Barrett is Jacob Marley, and Stelio Ghost of Christmas Past.
That's funny.
He's always on a roll, man. He's
man.
always on a roll.
Man. All right, John Dickerson, your day's coming. It's coming, I'm telling you.
That is easy as it looks.
Keep talking.
Right.
That red light goes on, man. I've seen it. It makes cowards out of a lot of people.
Yeah. Yes. You get on. You sound like Sylvester and Tweety. Okay, John Dickerson. We know where you live, bro. We coming.
You know what's funny, and I don't mean this about John, but I've had like acquaintances. I wouldn't even say buddies, but who are like, dude, I could do what you do, like no problem. I'm like,
yeah, okay.
I said, well, no, I said, okay, maybe you could. It's not brain surgery. However, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna time you. I want you to talk for a half hour straight.
Yeah.
Coherently.
Exactly. Yeah.
Without taking a breath, without taking a commercial, you're gonna go and you're gonna make some points and you're gonna do enough to make people want to listen. So
that's
3,
the big
2,
thing. Yes.
3, 2, 1, go. And within, I'm not kidding you, like usually about 30 seconds to a minute, they're done. They're cooked.
2 minutes, you have nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that. I'm not saying that about our chat or any. I love you guys. I'm just saying they're. I don't mean John either. I'm just saying there are some people, and John wasn't even implying that. John was having fun. I'm just saying this is a totally separate thing than what.
People think, all right,
yeah.
Just little things, like reading the prompter. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know how versed you guys are at doing that, or because you can't read the prompter. Somebody said the little dog ran across the street. You can't say it like that. Yeah. You gotta say it like you're having casual conversation.
Yeah, like it's your own. And
right.
you do. I mean, it's there are some stuff like the other. You got to be able to sort of have a feel for like a pacing, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. It's fun though. Look, believe me, we're fortunate to do what we do. That's for sure. All right, so
you get a rundown, and all of a sudden, bam. You're done with that rundown in 15 seconds, 15 minutes. Now you got another 15 minutes to go.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? How are you going to build this bridge?
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, doing some overnights, man. It's 3 a.m. and there's no phone calls, and you've used up all your bullets, man. It ain't easy.
Look, I got taught a lesson, guys, by Derek Gunn. Stream, listen to this.
Thank you.
Now he's been telling me we've been working together for about a year, and he kept telling me, look, man, go through that rundown and make sure you know the rundown like the back of your hand. I know what we're going to talk about. So I know that he was going to be the guy that would pushing the topics. And all I had to do was just answer the questions through the topic. So I write down my notes, but I never did learn what he was doing because he would be asking me the questions. So I feel as I didn't have to ask the questions.
Right.
And he kept telling me, man, make sure you know the rundown just in case something happens. I'm fine. So we go through 6 months. All of a sudden, we got a preseason game, and we had a show called Quick Slants, and it was a Quick Slants I got to do the pregame show also. I do the pregame show and I do Quick Slants. So I did 30-minute Quick Slants, and then it went straight to the pregame show leading to the game. He was on remote, so at this point, D Gunn is over at the stadium, and we're gonna do it, a tandem Quick Slants. He's at the stadium, I'm in the studio, and we're going back and forth. So we have a great connection. Everything is good. We're going into the show, and all of a sudden, as they're counting the show, 10, 9, 8, and as soon as he gets to 3, D Gunn's shot goes off. So it's just me on TV. Nothing but me.
Nothing prepared.
Unprepared.
And the light comes on. And I was like, okay, welcome to Quick Slants presented by Nissan. I'm Barrett Brooks.
No, that's not how you said it. Welcome to Quick Slants presented by Nissan.
I said that bad, but I was like, and then all of a sudden for 12 minutes. For 12 minutes. I'm sitting there with no rundown. All I have are notes, and the notes make no sense to me because I don't know the questions that Derek's supposed to ask me. So I'm sitting there for 12 minutes on live air, and my producer's not talking to me in my ear because he's talking to an IFB. IFB is in your ear, and you can talk straight to the producer. He can talk straight to you. He's talking to an IFB that's 3 IFBs down on the desk.
That's right.
So he doesn't know he's not. He knows. He's like, why does he do what I'm saying? Tell him to do. I'm telling him what to do. You're not talking to me, fool. You're talking to somebody that didn't even have IFB on. So for 12 minutes, I'm up there. I'm breaking down cover 2. I'm talking about this instead of going to break. Oh, it was the worst time ever. So from that point on, I'll be damned if I don't have a way. Like these guys can go off right now and be off the show. And I could still do this show. I would be able to run this show.
See that?
Because I will never.
Lesson learned, man. Yeah, I like
never.
It.
Hey, Richie Mack, to answer your question, I have 4 fishing ornaments on a tree. One of the small trees. So
Yeah, but I was. Yeah, you're right. I was sweating. Yeah.
Oh, sweating is an understatement. That's a combination of sweating and mad as a hornet's nest,
bro.
At the same time.
And then the whole time I'm thinking to myself, Derek is laughing at me.
I'm crying. I am crying. I am dying, dude. I can't tell you how hard I'm laughing, man. And I'm thinking, see, if Barrett had put his movies down on his laptop, he'd have been ready for this show. Yeah. You know why he wasn't ready, Rob? Because he's watching movies on his laptop. That's why he wasn't
Instead
ready.
of going through, I will watch movies
there you
during
go.
the time we had to be at work.
That's right.
I hear
it was crazy. It was crazy.
Oh man. Well, that's how unfortunately sometimes it's the best way to learn is those kind of moments. Like everything else in life. So let's look at this. Let's dig into the duos here, guys. Last night we had Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs hooking up as they've done since Diggs has gone over there from the Vikings, and those two have made an unbelievable combination. So we put together, no particular order here, our list of the top duos, wide receiver, quarterback in the NFL. I have 5. I don't know how many you guys did. We didn't do a certain number, a finite number. We just kind of, off the top of our head, threw a bunch together. But Barrett, why don't you go first? You give us yours.
Just to start off, I think Brady and Evans is a really, really good combination.
That's
the deep ball, a guy that with a huge catch radius. So I went Brady. Next, just like we talked about Allen Diggs. I mean, that doesn't get too much better than that. Yep. There were times where I was watching, he threw the ball to Diggs, and he had other guys on the opposite side of the field running wide open. Open.
He knows where his bread's buttered.
Exactly. So he went with reliable regardless of the situation. So he went to Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Dak and CD Lamb. I mean, that's a pretty potent combination. Those two, when they do hook up, it's a deadly threat, man. So I dislike that combination because they're so good. I dislike the fact that they do have a chemistry together, but I gotta admit they're pretty dangerous combination. Then I'll go Cousins Jefferson. That tandem there, they could break some records. They're gonna break some records. They're that good. I mean, that good. And then I'll go Tua and the Cheetah. Tua the Cheetah being my last one.
Like it. Good. That's good. All good. All killers right there. All killers. All right. I'll throw it out there, Gunnar, and then you want to jump on.
Okay.
I went again, no particular order. Cousins, Jefferson, Burrow, Chase, and he's coming back this week.
Burrow, Chase is definitely a good one.
Yeah. Tua, Tyreek, Allen, Diggs, Mahomes, Kelsey. Now I cheated a little bit because Kelsey's not a receiver, but you get the gist.
Yeah, you threw us for a loop. You said receivers, no tight ends.
Sorry, I cheated.
No tight ends. You cheated.
I Kelsey and Mahomes I threw in there.
Oh,
I cheated a little bit. So sorry.
Oh, you could also go. Hurts and Goddard.
Yeah, you absolutely could do that for sure. You made a case for Hurts and Brown the way that things have gone thus far. But that's that. They're mine. How about you, Gunnar?
Yeah. No particular order, but I have Cousins, Jefferson, Allen, Diggs, Carr, Adams.
Okay.
Carr, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I mean, Adams has 999 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns. So that's worked. Even though the Raiders have stunk up the joint for the most part, I mean, that's a great duo. I went.
He went 3 games. You got to admit, he went 3 games when he had less than 20 yards.
Yeah. Yes.
How does that happen?
Yeah,
I know,
crazy.
man.
I don't know.
I went Tua, Hill, Burrow, Chase, and my number 6 was Hurts and AJ.
Mm-hmm.
That is good.
So
too.
yeah,
good.
So I left that one off. But the other ones, I just think are just, man. I tell you what, you talk about dynamic, not just the deep, and I've included all of them because the deep ball is so vital in their connections. When it comes to Hurts and AJ, it's more of an intermediate connection between the two. The slant routes, you'll hit them occasionally deep, but with those other ones, man, they'll load up and bombs away at any given moment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Hurts and AJ didn't make mine, but they're close number 6.
All right, good. I like it. Good choices right there, fellas. All right, let's do our power rankings, and then we're going to dig into the games of Week 13. Okay, this is NFL. We'll go 5 through 1. We did NFC yesterday. We did AFC on Wednesday. This is the entire league, 5 through 1. Gunnar, why don't you get first crack here?
My number 5 is San Francisco.
Okay.
Number 4, Minnesota. 3, Buffalo. 2, Eagles. 1, KC.
No Cowboys.
Nah. Nah, I can't get them in there yet. Nah. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Oh, I messed it up. Number 4 is Dallas. I'm sorry. Not Minnesota, Dallas.
So no Vikings.
No Vikings. Yeah, Vikings are out.
Okay.
How? They're not
give me the list.
Scumbag Vikings.
Give me the list again.
Okay. San Francisco 5, Dallas 4, Buffalo 3, Eagles 2, KC 1.
All right. I'll go, and then Barrett, you go. Cowboys 5. Hate to say it. 49ers 4. Bills 3. Chiefs 2. Eagles 1. I go Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys. Now, I don't have the Vikings in there. You can certainly make a case for that. I guess the Bills a little bit of, I feel like they're starting to come on again. And as long as Allen isn't turning it over in the red zone, they're worthy of at least number 3 on my list. So that's where I'm at. How about you, Beck?
Wrong. All you guys are wrong, man.
Man, is that you talking or is that the eggnog talking?
I've been saying you guys have been wrong from the giddy up.
Yeah, and every time you say you're wrong 3 weeks later, every time you say we're wrong 3 weeks later, you go, I hate to admit it, especially you, D-Gun, but I have to admit you're right. So I expect that 3 weeks from now. So go ahead, give me your list, dang it.
We're going on 4 weeks now. You guys have been screaming the 49ers for the last 4 weeks. They don't even make my top 5.
Oh, yeah?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
I go Dolphins 5. Dolphins
okay.
5.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Vikings at 9 and 2.
I don't care about the Vikings.
Then I go Bills, Chiefs, and then Birds. How can you take the Dolphins off? Nobody can stop their offense right now.
Really? How do you put the Vikings on your list?
Yes, they're 9 and 2.
Oh yeah, well, who just smoked the Vikings? Who smoked them? 40-3, man, ass.
Dallas.
Well, how you put the Vikings on there before Dallas? How?
Well, I mean, the Commanders just smoked us. You said that to say what?
They didn't smoke you. They won by 2 points. What did they smoke you?
That was definitely.
You know what? Put that mason jar down. You know what that's it. Look at you, Grady, put it down, Grady.
Bro, I don't know why you guys keep thinking that the Vikings are they're not good. The Vikings are good, man.
I didn't say the Vikings weren't good. I'm just saying the Eagles and the Cowboys have shown.
I'll admit, I'll cop to what you're saying a little bit. I don't know what it is that makes me not want to commit to them. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because
neither one of you two have, though.
I know what it is. I do know what it is.
Well, I know what Derek's reason is.
Thank you.
It's his brother. Yeah, I know that.
Scumbag Vikings.
Well, look, man, you got the Cowboys in there. The Cowboys, come on, man. They've lost 3 games.
I don't care. The way they're playing, if they play like they played against Minnesota, that's a dangerous team.
But you are what your record says you are.
Well, they beat Minnesota and beat them in Minnesota. They held Minnesota to no touchdowns. Did you forget this?
Yeah.
No touchdowns, Barrett.
I hear you.
I didn't forget that.
Yes, you did, because that mason jar got your brain clouded right now.
No, it's nothing. I haven't drank enough. Look at I still got over half it in there.
Yeah. So Dan Coop chimes in. Kirk Cousins.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan.
I would say that. I would say that. I would definitely say that.
You already said what you're going to say.
If Kirk Cousins gets a 1 o'clock game, I don't care who you are. You give Kirk Cousins a 1 o'clock game. If they played the Super Bowl at 1 o'clock, Kirk Cousins would beat everybody in the NFL.
I don't believe it.
He just plays great on 1 o'clock games. He just sucks on any game that's not on 1 o'clock.
All right.
Dallas beat him they beat him in a night game. Dallas beat him in a night game.
Ain't happening.
Let's sneak in a quickie here. What we'll do is after we finish up with Dan, we will do week 13 games. Okay. So we have Dan Coop coming up, our buddy from Sport Trade. We'll see what he thinks about the Eagles, about Team USA and the Netherlands. We're going to work in a little World Cup too. We can do it all. We'll do it when we get back with Dan. Barrett, Derek, Rob, we're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted,
revered,
Appreciated.
he is Action News,
He's compassionate. Honest.
and fair,
he is extremely dedicated,
motivated, and always seeking the truth.
He's also funny. We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader, and we're lucky to have him.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust,
Go Birds!
and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Up and go Birds.
We all know that taxes are just part of life. It's true during our working years, but also in retirement. But what you might not know is up to 85% of your Social Security benefits might be taxed. Our team at Thrive Financial has helped retire thousands of people across the Delaware Valley by asking questions they never knew they needed to ask, including how their Social Security benefits might be taxed. It's time to be proactive on taxes. Get your Thrive Retirement Tax Playbook today.
Welcome back, my friends. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network, hanging out with you. Final segment of the program, as we do each and every Friday. We check in with our guy, Dan Koob from Sport Trade. You can follow him on Twitter at Sport Trade Koob. He is the executive producer, content media for Sport Trade _app. Of course, Market Movers, weekdays at 4 o'clock. Always good catching up with you. What's going on, Dan? How you making out?
How are you guys? I'm glad it's the last segment on the show. It sounds like you need like a therapist. I don't think I've seen you guys at each other's throats quite like this. You need the weekend.
We need what Barrett. Barrett's already started. It's happy hour somewhere, Dan. Check it out.
I saw.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
My man's going hard already.
Little eggnog.
Dude, got some eggnogs, Baileys, and what else?
Tis the season, man. Tis the season, man.
He can't even say tis. He said tis the season.
Be careful with that one, Barrett. Be very careful.
Man, how many fingers am I holding up, man?
I'm not gonna hate it.
Hey, good luck getting a word in edgewise with this crew.
Right.
Yeah,
that's all right. How are you guys?
We're doing good. Dan, I want to hit a bunch of NFL stuff, including the Eagles, with you. But tell us what's going on with the World Cup game tomorrow with USA and the Netherlands. Just kind of walk us through this, because it's a little bit trickier, I guess, with some people with not having the football knowledge as opposed to the football knowledge.
Yeah, well, an early one, 10 o'clock in the morning, U.S. and Netherlands in the round of 16. If the U.S. were somehow able to win, you could probably tell where the market's trending based upon that. Then they would advance to the last 8, which would be quite an upset for the United States. On Sport Trade, we have 2 separate markets, right? So in betting markets, there's not only to advance, which means whichever team side wins the match, but then there's the result, which means where are we at the end of regulation? Because when you get into knockout rounds in a soccer tournament, you play 90, then you have extra time, and then if you're still tied, then you have to play 2 15-minute quarters, I guess, for lack of a better term, before you go to actual shootout. So there are 2 separate markets. So the market on Sport Trade to advance, meaning whoever just wins it outright, is the Netherlands is at $68 per contract. It's a 68% chance of moving on. And the States is just 33.5. So sentiment pretty low on the Stars and Stripes. I guess that's not too surprising. The Netherlands were actually really good in the group stage. And the results for the end of regulation, that includes the potential to draw, is the U.S. is just $21, a 21% chance to win it in regulation. The Netherlands is over 50. It's 50.5. And then a draw is 29. So one of the cool things you can do on Sport Trade or any capital markets, financial market, is when you have a three-way market, which is rare for sports, right? When you have three options, what you could actually do is something called shorting. And what that means is you're betting against something to happen. So in this scenario, even if you don't think the U.S. is going to win, even if you don't think that they really have much of a shot at all, because the Netherlands is so high at over 50%, you could short them, meaning anything has to happen except the Netherlands wins in regulation, and you would win $50 based on that bet too. So just another option to consider.
So it's a tie at the end of regulation. That's a win for you, no matter what happens from there. Yeah.
So basically, what you're betting on if you are shorting the Netherlands is either the U.S. to win or they just draw.
Okay.
So technically, that would be 50% one way, 50% the other way. But in my opinion, I think you're much more likely to hit something like that than if you were to just straight up try to bet the United States to win it.
And Dan, remind everybody, because this applies to not just, this game we're talking about, but like you can buy and get out in game too, right? I mean, that's
whenever you want.
Yeah.
Whenever you want. Now, soccer, obviously a little slower, right? So if you're looking at how price equals probability on Sport Trade, you're not going to see a ton of movement because there are so many chances, but really the only thing that really moves the needle are two things: goals actually being scored and time, right? As you get closer to the end of a game, obviously the time becomes a factor. But something like basketball is unbelievably fun to trade on Sport Trade. Next time you're hanging out watching a Sixers game, pull up Sport Trade and just take them to win or take the other team to win, depending on who's hurt that night. And then just kind of see that money bar fly back and forth, and you can buy and sell whenever you want. We live traded the Mavericks and the Warriors the other night, and we actually ended up making money on the Warriors money line, the Mavericks money line, and the Warriors -1.5 by halftime. And the Warriors ended up losing by like 30. So that's a whole different ballgame. Yeah.
That is crazy, man.
Hey, Dan. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Barrett. My bad.
No, I was just saying, with soccer and the World Cup and everything, how do you come up with those statistics? Who in your office makes the the lines and things of that nature?
So we have market makers who are obligated to not only quote the markets, but to also provide the money behind them, right? So like you've probably heard of what's called peer-to-peer sports betting, which is mostly like, Barrett, if you wanted to take the Netherlands and I wanted to take the US, we can just bet each other. Now, there are platforms that you could do this on, but realistically, you and I could just Venmo each other back and forth, right? So what's different about us and them is the liquidity factor, which is literally the money that is backing the exchange. So they only—
the gold backing the dollar.
That's right. So not only do they quote the markets, but they also provide the liquidity. That way, if you or I didn't want to go head up, we wanted to get on the same side, there's somebody on the other side of that bet to take it. Again, just like a stock exchange. So I know this is veering out of what you guys would usually talk about on the show, but that's sort of the nitty-gritty of the Sport Trade experience.
It's interesting.
Dan, before I get to my question, Rob, how many times have you seen the line move this week on the Eagles game?
That's a good question. So I think it started at 7.5, and now it's down to 4.5 or something like that.
I told Rob I saw it at 3.5 at one point. He said it was 4.5. What was it, Rob?
Well, no. So I didn't think it got quite that high. I had seen it. For me, it was a point drop, Dan. I saw it at about 5.5 down to 4.5. But I do think some places had it as high as 6. That's a pretty steep drop, no matter what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So when it fluctuates like that, how does that affect your market?
Well, it's a great question because we actually don't change the spreads. So we'll post a spread. We'll have alternative spreads like you'd find at any other sports book. But when the line opened, it was Eagles -5.5. And instead of adjusting that to 4.5 or 4 or going up to 6, we just adjust the price at which you could get it at. So that's actually a great example. So for the Eagles, -5.5 is 49.50. Again, price equals probability. So under 50% chance of that happening. And Titans +5.5 is 53, which means the market seems to think that the Titans are going to be able to cover 5.5. And I do too. So I'm actually on the Titans +5.5. I'm also on the Titans to win the game outright. But because you can buy and sell, I don't necessarily have to have them win. I just think it's going to be competitive enough to improve upon their market price to win the game, which, by the way, is just $33.50. So the market thinks the Titans only have a 1 in 3 chance to beat the Eagles, and I think that's way too low.
Okay.
Any other games? There's some pretty good games on the card, Dan. Anything you like? Anything that's interesting in terms of market movement and whatnot?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one game and then a quick story about something that happened this week, actually, which we've never seen. I mean, everyone's kind of bookmarking that Dolphins-Niners game this week.
There you go.
Right? Yep. I think everyone, as you guys talked about in the last half hour, sentiment on the Niners is crazy high right now. And if you were to look at our futures markets, they're actually priced ahead of the Eagles and ahead of the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. So everybody's in on this San Fran team.
Wow,
They're finally healthy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Let me pull up the latest numbers here. So the Bills are number 1. They won last night. Whatever. People love the Bills. The Chiefs are number 2. The San Francisco 49ers are the 3rd highest team to win the Super Bowl in our market.
Damn.
Wow.
$13 per contract. Again, a 13% chance. The Eagles are at 11. They were at 14 and they've dropped. So people seem to think that the blueprint has been laid to beat the Eagles. So that's kind of where we're at. And then the Cowboys are right behind them at 9.
That's why it's imperative that the Eagles go out there and stop Derrick Henry. Yeah. Hence, getting that going in the opposite direction. Like, all right, we can't stop the run if we stop the best running back in the NFL.
Bear, do you think Jordan Davis is going to play?
So I think he is going to play.
I can't hear you over Derek Munching.
Right.
Talk a little louder.
Hey, man, I didn't have breakfast, man. I'm sorry. Sorry, man. I
love it. He's just eating during the show. It's all good. Yeah, it's all good. Yep.
My stomach's growling, man.
But yes, I do think he plays. And as you know, Rob said, he actually lost some weight instead of gaining weight during his his off time. So I think he'd be a little more explosive in playing. And I was just talking to somebody. They said that they might flip it now and saying that he might play that Jordan might play at the 3 technique as opposed to the nose because Linval Joseph can play the nose. So I think that's a great combination, have him at the 3 or the 4-eye, playing out there where he can be more explosive. He's got that young body with fresh legs. He could be a factor in this game.
I'm trying to think. Has he played a 3 tech this year?
They started implementing him into playing that, and then he got hurt. So we'll see if he goes forward with it.
Okay,
that's really interesting. Derek, please go back to eating. I didn't.
No. Don't let us interrupt you. I can't even enjoy myself. Forget it, man. But hey, Dan, real quick, a quick question. Outside of a quarterback, what position players from what you guys do seem to move the money line more? Is it wide receiver, whether they're in or out? Is it wide receiver? Is it running back? What position would you say?
It's a great question, and I was not part of the pre-show meeting, but that feeds right into the story I wanted to tell you guys about the Seahawks and the Rams. So the Seahawks on Monday opened up at, let me see, I think they opened up at $67. That's it. And then they jumped all the way to $78 once news of Aaron Donald getting his ankle checked. He hadn't even been ruled out yet. Came across the lines. And they're playing the Rams, who were terrible. So when that line came out, at the Seahawks with a 67.5% chance to win, it was a little fishy to begin with. So what we have on Sport Trade and what people in the betting markets have is what's called closing line value, which means you bet a game on Monday, assuming the line's going to move towards whatever you think is going to happen. So a perfect example of that would be if you think the Eagles are better than 3 points than the Titans, and on Monday it's Eagles -3, and by the weekend it's Eagles -6, well, then you kind of missed the boat there, right? You want the opposite to happen. You want it to move towards you.
Right.
So in this scenario, we have people who do this all the time too. They don't even bet the games. They don't trade the games. They just want to trade the line movement. So we have people who will come in and buy 50 shares, 50 contracts of a number on Monday, hoping it moves, and then they sell it. Typically, this happens for like $2 or $3 per contract. But in this scenario, the Seahawks went from 67.5 to 78, so $10.50 per contract in one day. So if you extrapolate that out, you can make over $500 on something like this happening. So to go back to your question, Gunnar, the positions that typically move the markets the most are obviously quarterback is number 1.
Right.
And then it's the glamour positions that you now see getting all the money. It's cornerback, it's wide receiver, it's rush end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the big ones. Like if an off-ball linebacker goes out, nobody cares, right? Like C.J. Gardner-Johnson being out is not going to move the markets at all. But Aaron Donald goes out, Nick or Joey Bosa goes out, And now you're really starting to talk about something. Now, this line movement sort of coalesces with Matt Stafford being in concussion protocol, all those things. But I mean, a lot of bettors make a lot of money just reading injury reports, frankly.
Dan, how about do you dip your foot in the college football championships here this weekend pool here? We got a few interesting. One of particular interest to Barrett. You got Kansas State and TCU.
TCU, baby, 1 o'clock.
Big one for B Brooks. How about that? Or any other ones that stand out? Maybe Georgia, LSU, and or Clemson, North Carolina, Purdue, Michigan. Any of the above?
Well, I'll tell you, nobody believes LSU is going to beat Georgia. Georgia at last check was trading at, I think, $90 per contract. Again, it only goes up to 100.
Yeah, that's a heavy.
So 89 right now. LSU's at 12. We could talk a little Big 12 title game. Okay. Kansas State currently trading at $48. TCU at 53.
Yeah,
so
wow.
I'm curious about this. TCU, Barrett, they're like a cat. I mean, they've been living on 9 lives all season. They like barely survive every weekend, it feels like, obviously with the exception of the Iowa State game last weekend. Are you confident? What do you think?
I am confident because Will Howard is starting this game as opposed to coming in on this game when he's playing.
The local kid, right?
Local down-in-town kid. So Senate is playing a lot better. They're tight end, and we all know that Deuce is playing at an all-star level. That the running back, he's small. They got the right mix of offense to score for TCU. So I think that's why it's so close.
Okay. We do have futures markets on NCAA championship as well. Georgia obviously commands most of it. They're at 57.5. Michigan's at 22.5. Ohio State, who is currently not in the Final Four, is at 12.5. So I think they're anticipating TCU losing and Ohio State
Kansas State
into the Final Four. Yeah, TCU's just at $5.50. So that could be a pretty shrewd move, actually. If you think TCU is going to win and get into the Final Four, then I would buy them at $5 multiple times.
That's a great investment, man.
Assuming that they just win and then they get in. Because obviously there's going to be a redistribution of money there, and that's $12.50 that's going to be gone. And then, of course, there's Alabama, Clemson. They're basically on the fringes. But that's a move that can make you $5, $6, $7 per contract. So that may be a pretty good move.
Not bad.
Interesting stuff.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else to look out for, Dan?
I think the Jets-Vikings game is really interesting. Like I commented in the chat before.
Yeah,
I think
Kirk Cousins.
People just don't believe in Kirk Cousins. I think that's literally the reason why people are discounting. And I'm one of them. Hey, look, me and Gus, stand up.
I believe him at 1 o'clock in afternoon games.
That's great. You know when they play the big games? Not at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm not worried about it. Yeah. Which NFC title game starts at what time this year? 3:30. Right. Super Bowl starts at what time? 6:20.
6:20. Yep.
Yeah, like I'm good. I'm good on that. I think that's what it is. And again, like I didn't even read their name off in our futures market. Let me pull it back up. The Vikings are $5, and they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're the 8th highest team.
Wow.
So nobody believes in them, and I don't blame them. Defensively, do they frighten you at all?
No,
they don't frighten me either. They don't have an overwhelming offensive line. I mean, to me, other than Justin Jefferson, I don't think they have an elite player, frankly. So,
well, Dalvin Cook,
is he still in that top tier?
I think he is.
Okay,
but the caveat is when he's healthy.
When he's healthy, if he's
when he's healthy, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Dan, good stuff, man. And again, I suggest everybody check out the unbelievable work they're doing at Sport Trade. You can follow Dan on Twitter at Sport Trade Coob. He's the executive producer of Sport Trade _ app, and of course Market Movers every weekday at 4 o'clock. And you can check that out at the Sport Trade _ app. Dan, appreciate it, man. Thanks for a couple minutes.
You can check out Rob on the show on Wednesday.
I'm with him, man.
Baby.
I'm in.
Yeah.
And Barrett, we got to get you on too.
Let's make it happen, man.
Make it happen.
Book it. Done deal. Done deal. Dan, enjoy your weekend, man. We'll talk. I'll see you Wednesday, and we'll talk next Friday here.
Sounds good, guys. Enjoy your
Take care, bro.
All right, brother. That is Dan Coob. Always fun to catch up with Dan. All right, let's hit it. Let's hit the big games this week, guys. We just touched on a couple. Jets Vikings is a big one. Can we get a repeat performance here from White, who had a really good week last week? But can he put together that consistency to be able to hang with an offense that is going to put up some good points or put up some points, even though the Jets defense is legit? What are we thinking in that one?
I'm thinking
where are they playing the game?
That game's in Minnesota.
In Minnesota. I think Minnesota wins. And White, he took advantage of situations that they caught him out of place. The Vikings, even though they're vanilla, they're not out of place. They're always where they're supposed to be at. So I like the Vikings on this
one. I think White is going to be able to do some damage against that defense, but I don't know if the Jets offense can match Minnesota in that dome point for point. If they were playing in the Meadowlands, I think it would be a much closer game. But I think down the stretch, Minnesota's going to put some distance between themselves and the Jets. But I think for the most part in that game, it'll be entertaining. I just don't like the Jets' chances playing in the Midwest this week.
Okay. I am, until proven otherwise, until he does it, I think it's a great story, and I hope he gets the opportunity and they continue to give him an opportunity. But I need to see it 2 straight weeks for White, if I believe that. All right. Next one is another, one you're going to be keeping your eye on, certainly from an NFC East standpoint. Commanders at the Giants. Now, I was looking at this one a little bit earlier. It was one of the games I was going to throw with Dan, but we just kind of ran a little bit short of time. But Washington's favored by 2 points at New York. New York's kind of cooled off a little bit, and Washington, of course, is hot. Barrett, what are you thinking of that one? Commanders at Giants.
I like Commanders. Defensively, I think they're just a lot better suited to stop the run versus the Giants stopping the Commanders run. So, I think their defense will play a little better up front, which is why they'll win the game.
Okay. How about you, Derek?
I'm going to lean towards Washington also. For whatever reason, this team is much better.
Well, your mic just kind of go ahead.
What happened?
Well, your mic was funky for a second. You're good now.
I'm okay. Yep. Yeah, I just think that Washington has a role. I think Washington's defensive front will be huge in this game. Giants play a good defensive concept with less talent, but I think Washington's defensive front is going to be the X factor in this game.
Okay.
You know what that was, Rob? That was the BS meter that kicked in.
The what? The what?
Oh my God.
Nothing, man. Nothing.
What you said? The BS? What BS?
Let's keep moving. Dolphins 49ers, we're up against it. We got to move. So Dolphins 49ers are -4. I actually like the 49ers here. I feel like their defense is going to at least contain Miami enough, and they're going to get the win. But a lot of people feel otherwise. Where are you guys at on this one?
I'm saying they're going to beat them just off of spite because you guys love them so much. So, yeah, just off of spite. And no logical, no reasoning, nothing but just spite that you guys love them so much.
And I'm speaking BS. I'm the one talking BS here, right? Okay. And I've been waiting the whole show to ask Mr. Brooks this question. If the 49ers beat the Dolphins, will you jump on the D-Gun, Rob Ellis, 49ers wagon?
I absolutely will. This will be the determining factor right now. If they can stop this offense.
Wait a minute, because a couple of weeks ago, you openly said on this show, D-Gun, Rob Ellis, I hate to admit it, but you guys might be right. And then you got off. And so this game will be the defining game. Is that what you're telling us?
I'll be on it. I would definitely put them in front of Minnesota.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. Another biggie, man. Chiefs, Bengals. That is the 4:25 game. This is a rematch of the AFC Championship game, which Cincinnati won.
Ooh-wee.
Game's in Cincinnati. Chiefs are 2-point favorites in Cincy.
With
just
no
2 points?
Yep.
Yes.
No
so it's actually 5 points, favored by virtually 5 points, just by Cincinnati being home with 3.
Well, yeah, and and keep in mind Jamar Chase back too for what it's worth for that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a good game.
I know, man. I'm back and forth on this one. I kind of like Kansas City. I'm slight leaning Kansas City, but I don't love it.
I always go with that magic man under center. I expect Patrick Mahomes to do something crazy. He gonna spin around 8 times, run to one sideline, run back to the other sideline, have a conversation with Andy Reid, take off running again, and go find Travis Kelce standing wide open down the middle of the field for the game-deciding score.
Okay.
It's going to be a 28-second play.
Okay.
Hey, don't laugh because Kyler Murray did that earlier this season.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I wanted to – that reminded me. Let me sneak this one in before we get to birthdays because we are getting tight here. On this date in 1990, Randall Cunningham threw a 95-yard touchdown pass to Fred Barnett in Buffalo. You remember the one where he escapes? Yes. He has like eyes in the back of his head, and Bruce Smith almost kills him from behind. Yes. And then he throws that thing to Fred Barnett, who leaps up and catches it.
Wow,
yeah. So Randall was like 7-8 yards deep in his own end zone when he throws it. It's only officially credited as 95 yards, but it was really like 100 and something. You know, that wasn't where the line of scrimmage was. But it was classic Randall. But yeah, it was this day, 1990. That play had to take a long time to develop too, I would imagine.
What year? 19 what?
90. Yeah, it was 90. Man, yeah, it was 32 years ago today.
Yeah,
that happened.
My freshman year in college.
Yeah, man.
Think about that. 1990 is 32 years ago.
Yeah, Randall.
Wow.
Unbelievable. All right, let's do some birthdays here as we get up against it a little bit, and then we'll get Eagles predictions. Britney Spears is 41. You want to feel old? How about that? Charlie Puth. Is it Puth or Puth? The singer?
I don't know. Puth.
All right. He's 31. Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Ayahuasca, is 39.
Oh, Amazon Peyote.
That's right.
You know what? To quickly steal and to doctor up a line from the movie Home Alone, where it says, keep the change, you filthy animal.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers, happy birthday, you filthy animal.
Lucy Lou's 54.
Hold on. His teammate, Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, yeah, he was he's 28.
28, yep.
Yeah, Johnny Versace was born this day, 1946. Juice WRLD is 24 years old. Nelly Furtado is 44.
Say it right. One of my favorite songs still.
Yep.
Yeah. Daniela Rua, is 39 years old. The actress, she's in CSI Los Angeles. Tretch from Naughty by Nature is 52 years old.
Wow.
Monica Seles, the former tennis player, is 49 years old today. And that's all I got for birthdays. I got some movies.
You got our own.
Yes.
Paul Holmgren.
Homer.
67.
Homer 67. Happy birthday, Homer. Good one. All right. We got Naked Gun this day, 1988, and Tequila Sunrise with Mel Gibson and Kurt Russell and Michelle Pfeiffer, 1988 as well.
All right.
Okay. All right. Predictions quickly, guys, as we get out the door here. Gunner,
27-20.
All right. 27-20. Eagles for Barrett. How about you, Derek?
23-20.
Okay. I have 24-23. The Eagles survive. I think they win. So we have 3 wins across the board.
Okay.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks to everybody for hanging out with us this week today. Barrett, enjoy your drinks, man. I want to thank everybody in the chat section.
Sit your drunk butt down somewhere, man.
Want to thank Xander Krause.
Not just yet.
All of you for streaming, for listening. Don't go anywhere. And Barrett's going to be on with them. Don't go anywhere because Dan Cilio and the National Football Show, Barrett will be on at 4. And the National Football Show is coming up. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you Monday to recap the game. Enjoy.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
Jim Gardner is an icon.
A Philadelphia treasure.
He's a mentor, a pace setter.
Jim is my North Star.
He's trusted,
revered,
appreciated.
He is Action News.
He's compassionate, honest,
and fair.
He is extremely dedicated,
motivated, and always seeking the truth.
He's also funny. We are a team of many.
Jim Gardner is our leader, and we're lucky to have him.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust, and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia Dreams. Oh,